Welcome to GCS Credit Union Ballpark as the Frontier League leading Evansville Otters continue their Independence Day weekend series with the Gateway Grizzlies for Saturday night, fireworks night baseball on the east side of St. Louis. My name is Ryan Brown. I'm joined to my right by Preston Leinenbach, and last night, Preston, the Otters handed their skipper Andy McCauley his 1,000th professional managerial win with a 10-3 victory over these Gateway Grizzlies. And Preston, having the opportunity to know Andy for the years that you have, what do you think that milestone victory meant to him?
Well, for him, he'll always say it's a credit to the players he's had over the years, not just at Evansville, but previously like Kalamazoo, Schaumburg as well, Kansas City, everywhere he's been. A credit to the coaching staffs, especially here in Evansville where he's had that stability with his assistants over the last handful of years plus. And, of course, the organization as a whole, because it is truly an organizational effort to piece together not only what happens on the field, but getting the players, the athletic trainers, keeping them good, healthy, and in shape for the year. So it's really a team effort, and that's why Andy is kind of hesitant to always take the credit on getting 1,000 wins. But nonetheless, it's a significant milestone, 1K. It's never easy for anyone to get to that point, but he's done it for 20-plus years, and that's why he's been able to stick around at the top of his game now here with Evansville, thankfully, with a championship in 2016.
For 20-plus years, you're talking about also the team effort. He has at his hands now in that lineup card maybe one of the best teams he's gotten to manage. An Evansville Otters squad that is off to a record-breaking 24-9 start. They are 15 games over 500 through the first third of the season. 4 games up on the Florence Yalls, and they square off against their West Division rivals, the Gateway Grizzlies, tonight. You're listening to the Evansville Otters pregame show, where we'll give you a recap of last night's action, as well as the opportunity to sit down and talk with Otters skipper Andy McCauley following that milestone 1,000th victory last night. And we'll also send lineups your way before first pitch, scheduled for 6:45. Well, last night it was the Otters who handed their skipper Andy McCauley his 1,000th professional managerial win with a 10-3 victory over the Gateway Grizzlies here in Sauget, Illinois. Ryan O'Reilly, the rookie out of the University of Illinois at Chicago, took the hill for the Otters in the first game of this 3-game weekend set, and he would go on to earn his first professional winning decision. The Grizzlies, however, took the first lead of the ballgame in the bottom of the first on an RBI groundout. The run that scored would be unearned, however, because of a catcher's interference call made earlier in the inning that would allow a runner to advance into scoring position. The Otters responded in stride after that frame with a 7-run second inning off the backs of 3 long balls hit in that inning. The first home run was crushed to right field by Otters first baseman Dakota Phillips. Then, with John Schultz and Michael Gangwish aboard following back-to-back walks from Grizzlies starter Jorge Tavares, Miles Gordon homered off the foul pole in right. Finally, to cap off the scoring, J.R. Davis hit a 2-run home run also to right field. The Otters then led 7-1 after touching home 7 times in the inning, the most in any one single frame scored by the Otters this season. Evansville would extend its lead to 8-1 in the top of the fourth when J.R. Davis scored from third on a wild pitch thrown by Greg Duncan, who relieved Tavares after just 2 innings. The Grizzlies answered in the bottom of the fourth with a solo home run from Andres Regno, the former teammate of Christopher Pools with the Kingsport Mets, cutting the Otters' lead to 8-2. Gateway tacked on another run thanks to an RBI base hit from Nick Rotola with 2 out in the bottom of the sixth. The score was then 8-3 following the scoring of another unearned run on Ryan O'Reilly. Though he did give up 3 runs, only one of them was earned, the 2 unearned. The only one earned that home run by Andres Regno. The Otters responded for 2 more runs in the top of the 7th as an RBI groundout from Andrew Penner scored Michael Gangwish before Miles Gordon would come home on a wild pitch, scoring from third. Evansville then led by the final score of 10-3. Samson Abernathy relieved Ryan O'Reilly in the bottom of the 6th, following 2 1/3 scoreless innings, while striking out 3 batters did Samson Abernathy. In the bottom of the 9th, it was University of Southern Indiana product Jacob Bowles joining his former USI Screaming Eagle teammate, Austin Gossman, making his professional debut with the Otters, coming on to pitch in the bottom of the ninth, putting up a scoreless frame of his own while picking up also his first professional punch-out. The win was Andy McCauley's 1,000th as a pro ball manager, and in a career dating back to 1998 with the Frontier League's Kalamazoo Kodiaks, McCauley has taken 5 different organizations to 12 playoff appearances, winning 3 league championships, one with the Otters in 2016. McCauley brought winning baseball back to Evansville after he took over in 2010, leading the Otters to 4 playoff appearances, a league championship, and the organization's first division crown since 1999. His regular season win total with the Otters now stands at 498 as we look toward another milestone. They could creep towards 499 with a win tonight following, Preston, a little offensive explosion in the second inning that they were able to ride to victory last night.
Yeah, several home runs in that second inning, a 7-run inning. So really getting that 1,000th win at least was kind of a little bit more comfortable early in the game where there wasn't maybe a high-pressure situation to deal with late in the game. But nonetheless, you'd like to see the early offense. You hope maybe it'll stay consistent, maybe a little bit more going forward throughout the game. You don't like to see it kind of maybe die down as much. But nonetheless, again, a good solid win. You like seeing the offense come through. And, of course, as we all know, there is power with this team. And the offense, one of the best in the Frontier League as well. Usually in most categories, 1 or 2. Schaumburg's also got a really good offense in the league stats as well.
And, you're looking at that great offense just as you mentioned. I know attentions, of course, have turned to tonight's ball game, but still want to take one extra moment to reflect on that phenomenal milestone for Andy McCauley. So we will send things over to a pregame interview with the Otters skipper himself on the Otters Digital Network and the Evansville Otters pregame show on YouTube Live. We'll be right back after this.
CenterPoint Energy's newest generation of safe, efficient energy includes capturing and harnessing the natural power of pure sunshine. We are increasing solar in our balanced and reliable energy mix as we power our region with more clean, renewable energy. We're bringing a little piece of the sun to every home and business while reducing carbon emissions and helping create a cleaner environment. It's just a little something for your smart energy future.
Sitting here talking with Otters skipper and 1,000 professional managerial winner, Andy McCauley, after last night's win here at Gateway. 10-3 was the final last night's game. First off, Andy, congratulations on that 1,000th win. What were some of the emotions that were going through after winning that one?
Well, thank you, Ryan, and thank you to the whole Otters organization. They've been great, throughout my 11 years here with them. But yeah, last night didn't really hit me at the time. It was just another win. I was glad to win 10-3. And, in this ballpark, anything can happen at any time. So getting out with a 10-3 and the guys playing as well as they did was first. And then the guys did a little ceremony in the clubhouse that was very rewarding and emotional. It's the biggest thing I noticed was the 54 text messages I had this morning of previous players, previous managers, coaches, and friends throughout the way that all reached out. That was the neat thing this morning. I don't think it's really hit yet what that number means or what it is. I'm sure it's something I'll look back on, but it was a little surreal today getting through all that. But looking forward to moving past it and moving on.
Since 1998, when you first got to manage with the Kalamazoo Kodiaks, now at the Evansville Otters since 2010. Would love to hear some of the lessons you think you've gotten to learn in that time from the game of baseball that you get to pass on to your players in the clubhouse, in the dugout, on the field that maybe fans don't get to necessarily hear all that often.
The thing is, you do it long enough and the game slows down. And that's what the kids at this level don't realize. They need the reps. They need to fail. They will succeed if they stick with it. And those are the things that I think you learn with experience, no matter what line of work you're in. There is going to be failure, and when there is, there is. But it's how you respond, and if you learn from your losses, and that's what we're trying to teach at this level, because you're going to fail in this game, and if you can learn from it and make adjustments, you're going to be better. So I think that's the biggest thing you take away from that, and then all the bus rides and all the stuff, all the negative stuff you forget about every offseason for some reason. You just remember the good times, the good memories, the good players, the good people you've come in contact with.
How about of those good memories? 1,000 wins, a lot of great memories. How about what ones stand out to you first and foremost, right at the top of the brain?
First of all, I feel lucky to be able to sit here and talk to you. I mean, I've been blessed and fortunate with the opportunities I've been given throughout my career. Most of which, in Evansville on July 5th in 2010, when Mr. Bussin gave me this opportunity. But some of the bigger wins. I mean, I remember beating the Richmond Roosters, were one of the best teams in the league in '98, and they had a guy, Morgan Burkhart, who was dubbed the Babe Ruth of the Frontier League. He was an unbelievable hitter, and bases loaded, we were up by 2, and he was coming to bat, and we intentionally walked him with the bases loaded. The next guy lined out to center field, we won the game, and wins were few and far between in that year in '98. So that was one of the better wins. I got to like Jeff Eisen was my pitching coach at the time, and one of my better friends throughout baseball. So that was a real memorable year. Just getting the opportunity to manage, having a pitching coach that I knew and trusted and liked being around, and we made the best of a bad situation, which turned into the following year being up in London in '99 and winning a championship in '99. So that turnaround, my first and my second year, is really a special time. And then the following year in 2000, the opening day in 2000, in 2000 when Brett Gray struck out 25. I mean, those are 3 certain memories right off the bat, and I think that's why I'm here today. Just memories like that and moments like that when you get hooked on baseball, and that certainly got me hooked at Independent.
Well, Andy, hoping for 1,000 more on the road ahead. Congratulations again.
Well, thank you very much, Ryan. You guys have been great. Thank you very much.
Special thanks and once more congratulations to Otters manager Andy McCauley following his 1,000th professional managerial victory last night. And tonight, on the east side of St. Louis, we turn toward perhaps a journey towards 1,000 more as the Evansville Otters are set to square off against the Gateway Grizzlies, who have now taken the field here at GCS Credit Union Ballpark. My name is Ryan Brown. I'm joined alongside by Preston Leinenbach and the Evansville Otters, who come in with the Frontier League's best 24-9 record, going up against the Gateway Grizzlies, who sit in 4th place in the West Division, 12-22. The Otters turned to a lineup that scored 10 runs last night. Miles Gordon, Andrew Penner, J.R. Davis will be the first 3 batters to face the rookie right-hander making his professional debut, Sam Gardner. Then the heart of the order for the Otters will be Riley Crane cleaning up, Elijah McNamee batting 5th, and in the 6th spot, Dakota Phillips. Michael Gangwish gets the start again at the catching position. He'll bat in the 7th spot in the lineup, to be followed by John Schultz, who will DH and hit 8th. And Josh Henderson also makes his first start of the series in left field, rounding out the order, batting 9th. And Preston, we're hoping that the Otters can keep this little offensive output on a roll, as well as seeing more great pitching in the next half inning from Tim Holdgrafer.
Yeah, it really feels like the perfect balance almost for this team this year, and in fact, maybe more so than what we've seen in years past. Very interesting that that's been the development, considering, again, so many new faces, and they've gelled together right away. The camaraderie's there, the chemistry's there, and just a real fascinating season so far.
Well, first pitch, we are underway at 6:45. Miles Gordon showed bunt. He pulled back. He took a strike right around the letters. The 0-1 from Sam Gardner. Misses low, 1-1. A beautiful night here in the outskirts of St. Louis. Not a cloud to be seen in the sky. The 1-1 ground ball back up the middle to the right of the second base bag into center field. Miles Gordon aboard with the leadoff base hit, and he is on fire. He collected 4 hits yesterday, and here he is aboard to begin the ballgame.
Back-to-back days going, including yesterday with home runs. Leads off today's game with a hit up the middle. Has seen his average climb nearly 30 points in just the last 2 weeks alone. And if that's the case with the leadoff guy getting on fire for Evansville, that sets up the rest of the lineup, especially the middle part of the order, very well.
Now it's Andrew Penner. He had a couple of hits in the ballgame last night. Throw over. Miles Gordon dives back safely. 8 out of 9 Otters in that lineup of theirs reached base safely by the 2nd inning last night. Pretty impressive. First pitch to Andrew Penner. Misses out, 1-0. Gardner, by the way, mentioned he's making his professional debut tonight with the Grizzlies. The Murray State University product, who carried a 5-6 record through his senior season. A throw over, it was pretty close, but the throw over to the first baseman, Chase Vallo, not handled cleanly. Gordon still safe. Gardner comes set right around the letters. The 1-0. And that misses high. 2 balls and no strikes on the Otters shortstop, Andrew Penner. Talking about Miles Gordon heating up at the plate. He was 3 for his last 7 entering the ball game last night. And the throw over. Again, paying a lot of attention to Miles Gordon. He's back safely. And then with a 4 for 6 night, go ahead and make him 7 for his last 16 ABs. 2-0 sails high. Andrew Penner batting in a favorable count as Sam Gardner perhaps a little jittery in his pro debut, falling behind the first 2 batters here early.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Maybe a little bit of nerves.
3-0. That is a called strike, and it's off the foot of the backstop, Andres Regno. So the Otters will have a runner in scoring position with nobody out.
Yeah, the pass ball there, and just like that, runner in scoring position for the Otters. Now that it's a 3-1 count, we might see Penner just take a chance just to see if maybe he gets a get-me-over fastball in his zone.
The 3-1, that's cut on and missed. Exactly right. He took a chance. You almost have to think that the Grizzlies actually might have been a little unlucky to have that pitch called a strike on the inside part of the plate that ended up going for a pass ball. The 3-2, cut on and missed. Foul tipped into the catcher Regno's glove for the first out.
So after some, inside outside pitches to start the at-bat, good back-to-back fastballs from Gardner. I mean, nice little zip as Penner was late really with both of those swings.
It brings up J.R. Davis. He homered in the ball game last night. He comes in as one of the top hitters in the Frontier League. His .347 batting average is good for number 5 in the league. First pitch, Miles Gordon, a couple steps off of second. He breaks it down as Davis takes the ball high, 1-0. Davis clubbed his 5th home run of the season last night. Pulled within second on the club with RBIs, with 28 behind Riley Crane, the cleanup batter's 29. 1-0 misses above the letters. So Gardner was able to come back in the count to get the best of Andrew Penner. He will have to try to do the same against the Otters' number 3 batter, J.R. Davis. Little inside move, just to look Gordon back to the bag. Gardner gets his sign. Checks the runner at second and deals. 2-0, fouled off to the right and out of play. Preston, how about J.R. Davis, this pickup for the Otters, who was actually cut by the Washington Wild Things out of spring training, who has now found himself moving up into the number 3 spot in the Otters order, traditionally where you'd put your best hitter on the lineup.
Well, there's no doubt about it, and he's kept it as no secret that he has it kind of pinned up on his bulletin board that he was released, as you mentioned, by the Wild Things, and providing that motivational factor for him, and I think he's definitely serving it well, considering the circumstances that he's hitting the numbers that he is. But like you just said, he's moved up to the number 3 spot, and again, not being probably the true power hitter in this lineup, but yet he's been the most productive nonetheless, and
impressive to watch.
Yeah.
After a pickoff attempt at second, the 2-1 is a strike called on the outside part of the plate. Chris Dykman calling balls and strikes tonight. Kevin Wilkie over at first. Dave Van Zummeren at third. Two the count. Pitch to Davis, and he fouls it off to the right. Once again, out of play. Out toward the arch here at GCS Credit Union Ballpark.
That's right, the skyline behind us. But better off that way than toward my car. Even though I think we're safe even where I parked, even for a long home run bomb. But
The 2-2, and that's hit well out toward right field. Unfortunately, struck a little too hard as the right fielder, Dylan Jones, underneath it, back a few steps to make the play for the second out in the top of the first.
Yeah, that's exactly the direction Davis was wanting to go. He's really looking to kind of more just loop it into that shallow right field area. Like you said, caught it just a little too solid.
Good time to go over our defensive alignment, by the way, for the Gateway Grizzlies. Nick Rotola's in left, Dustin Wilcock in center. Dylan Jones making that play in right. Connor Owings, the brother of Chris Owings at third. Justin Jones, not the brother of Dylan Jones at short. Jay Prather and Chase Vallo round out the infield. How about a throw over with no one covering? Plunks Miles Gordon right in the numbers. He's back safely, and I don't think that's what they had drawn up, and Miles Gordon is a little possibly peeved out there. I don't blame him.
Yeah, that was a long stare in, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. He's like, listen, if you're
The
going to
hands
throw
on the
over, make
hips,
sure your
the
guy's
little-
there. First pitch to Riley Crane. It's a liner out toward right field. Coming in with the shifted infield is the right fielder, Dylan Jones. He makes the catch. Well, it was a leadoff single for Miles Gordon, but Sam Gardner in his pro debut able to work around it. We head to the bottom of the first. Gateway nothing. Evansville nothing. Gateway coming to bat.
Getting ready and keeping fit for baseball season is hard work. That's why you'll find Evan at Bob's Gym. Getting fit, having fun, being an Otter. Be like Evan. Try a free 3-day pass at Bob's.
You live by what's right. It's part of who you are and what drives you to always do more, to give more. At Old National, we get it. We're the bank built on integrity and community. The bank named the world's most ethical company for the last 10 years. The bank that focuses on your financial goals every day. Because your success is everything. And that's why we're here. You live by what's right. And at Old National, we bank by it. Find us at oldnational.com/locations. Member FDIC.
Bottom of the first. 0-0 our score at GCS Credit Union Ballpark. Tim Holdgrafer on the mound for the Otters, hoping to continue a train of phenomenal rookie pitching. First pitch to Ty Moore. Bat goes flying. Luckily, there's a little bit of netting to protect the fans behind first. Ty Moore, the left-handed hitting DH. He's swinging the bat and swinging it a little aggressively, perhaps. Tim Holdgrafer on the mound, making his 5th start of the season, his 6th appearance overall. He carries a 3-1 record. He's won his last 3 ball games, earning a winning decision in each of his last 3 starts. 24 1/3 innings of work. 29 hits allowed. The wind. The 0-1 to Moore. That misses just inside 1-1. 14 runs allowed. Total of 3 walks. As the 1-1 is in there for a strike. 27 punch-outs through 24 1/3. And by the way, those 14 runs that Holdgrafer has given up, a bit deceptive, if you will, because Holdgrafer got the start in Schaumburg as the 1-2. Looks like it was fouled off Ty Moore. So they'll do the 1-2 again as Moore will take a moment to get himself back situated one more time around home. But that's start against Schaumburg. Holdgrafer gave up 7 runs, all earned in 4 innings and a spot start. So you remove that from his tally, and that ERA would go way down. The wind and the 1-2. Ground ball right side, J.R. Davis has it on a hop right around his knees. He tosses on to Dakota Phillips. 4-3 ground ball for the first out in the bottom of the first. Go ahead and give you the rest of this Gateway Grizzlies lineup. Jay Prather will step to the plate now. He bats left-handed to be followed by the number 3 batter, Chase Vallo. Andres Regno, who homered last night, cleans up as Dustin Woodcock, the left-handed hitting center fielder, will bat 5th. Nick Rottola and Chris Owings hit 6th and 7. Owings, a left-handed batter, to be followed by Justin and Dylan Jones, 8 and 9. First pitch, fly ball, center field. Back a few steps is Gordon. He makes the catch on a hard-hit fly ball by Jay Prather, but it is an out all the same, and quickly 2 are down in the bottom of the first.
That's what you like to see, and that's what you kind of get with Holdgrafer, at least since he's moved to the rotation, is the efficiency on the mound. You look at his numbers, and what stands out to me is the strikeout to walk ratio. He's not wasting time. He's not wasting pitches and dancing around batters. He's going right at them and beating them.
Certainly something a pitching coach has to like. First pitch to Chase Vallo. He takes a strike on an off-speed pitch. Holdgrafer looking to pick up, as we mentioned, that 4th professional win, 4 in a row it would be. The 0-1 breaking ball cut on and missed by Vallo. Vallo last night went 1 for 3 with a walk.
I mean, his strikeout to walk ratio, 27-3. That's pretty good.
Absurd.
He's got 9 strikeouts per walk, basically, in
Right.
that ratio. And the last pitcher that I've seen in an Otters uniform with something similar to those numbers, Randy Wynn. It's worked out pretty well for him as he's pitching in the Cincinnati Reds organization. So
keep that up. Tim might be getting some phone calls. The 0-2 with 2 out. And a high fly ball out toward left field. Underneath it, he's got a lot of hang time to work with, is Josh Henderson. Two-handed, I don't blame him. He makes the catch for a 1-2-3 bottom half of the first for Tim Holdgrafer. Top 2 coming up. Zip our score. You're listening to the Otters Digital Network on YouTube Live.
We love our children and want them to be healthy. After all, a healthy child can make for a happy child. When you choose Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield, you have great doctors and great care to help your child stay healthy. And that is something to smile about. Choose Anthem to help keep your children healthy and happy. Enroll today. Call 1-800-403-0864. To learn more, visit www.anthem.com/inmedicaid.
Before you danced the first dance. Before you walked down the aisle. Before the tables were set with care. Before you penned a single invitation. before the day that went beyond your wildest expectations. There was the little green box from Brinker's Jewelers for befores and happily ever afters.
Top of the second inning, 0-0 our score. Otters were able to get the leadoff batter aboard in the top of the first, but Sam Gardner able to come back and leave Miles Gordon in scoring position. Elijah McNamee stands in. He takes a pitch upstairs for ball one, 1-0. Ryan Brown alongside Preston Leinenbach here in the booth at GCS Credit Union Ballpark on Independence Day weekend. The 1-0, that misses outside. 2 balls and no strikes on a very talented, he's proven to be in his second season with the Otters, Elijah McNamee.
Yeah, and things just seem to be getting better for him as the season goes along. A little slow start for him in terms of the drive-in extra base power, but it's starting to really come through in the last couple weeks. And unfortunately, there's no all-star festivities this year for the Frontier League. If there were, he would definitely be selected, and who knows, I mean, he could be a home run derby participant.
The 3-0 swinging away is McNamee, and why not? He fouls it back to the right, out of play. The 2-0 missed tie. The 3-0 fouled back.
I was going to say, also at some point he will get like a Frontier League Player of the Week honor.
Oh, sure. It's coming.
Yeah.
The 3-1. And there's a called strike, low and away. McNamee tilts his head to both sides, starting to pick up the strike zone of Chris Dykman. And McNamee talking about those great power numbers. He also mixes in great knowledge of the strike zone. Full count offering to McNamee is hit out toward left center field. It will fall for a base hit. McNamee aboard with a leadoff single in the top of the second.
So back-to-back leadoff hitters to start the game. No dividends being paid in that first inning with Gordon getting on, but that's a good recipe if you can keep that going forward.
Especially to have a base runner aboard for Dakota Phillips, who homered last night. There is a short porch in right here at Gateway, but Phillips' home run back in the top of the second last night was no cheapie. He's hoping to do that again. First pitch to Phillips, and a big swing. Can't catch up with the fastball, 0-1 on Phillips.
Yeah, like you just mentioned with the layout of this ballpark, it kind of feeds to the likes of Dakota Phillips, Riley Cranes of the world.
Phillips, he is 1 home run away from already tying, throw over, McNamee back safely, his home run total from 2019. Just 1 home run away, and he is starting just his 28th game.
I think a couple reasons for that. One, the work he put in, obviously, during the pandemic year last year, playing down in Texas, but also getting more reps in terms of getting action in the starting lineup. It was kind of a rotating door behind the plate as he looks at a 1-1 count now between him and Mike Rizzatello in 2019. Now he's getting more consistent looks, the everyday opportunities in the lineup.
Another throw over. Pretty good move from Gardner. McNamee back safely. McNamee, sneaky fast on the base paths. 5 stolen bases. He's yet to be caught stealing. Gardner with a 1-1. And it's hit well out toward right field. This might get into the corner if it's fair. It is out of here. It's a 2-run home run for Dakota Phillips. Ace 10. Dak Jack. The Otters lead 2-0 in the top of the second. Phillips, his 7th home run of the season. RBIs 27 and 28. He hit it out toward that corner, and it snuck up over the right field wall on a line drive laser beam, and he will sport the Evansville, Indiana E-chain as he returns to the Otters dugout.
I heard a few applause in the crowd on that home run, so that tells me a few Evansville Otters fans traveled their way I-64 West here to GCS Ballpark.
Michael Gangwish stands in, takes a strike. The Otters faithful, making the journey out. 0-1 ground ball to the first baseman. Eats up Valo. By the time he recovers, He will have no throw to the pitcher Gardner covering. Michael Gangwish aboard with an error on the first baseman following the 2-run home run of Dakota Phillips. And it's not too often that on a turf field you see an infielder get eaten up, but that ball just seemed to catch follow on that wrong, awkward hop, getting him right around the belt. Kind of hard to do anything with, right?
So it's weird on natural surfaces like at Bossy Field, you'll get the weird giant hops, and like kick off the edge of the grass or a rock or something.
John Schultz, he's good with that bat. He bunts it toward third, and the third baseman's going to try to let it go foul. It will not as it spins back toward fair territory. The third baseman, Connor Owings. And how about the bunt master and PhD in baseball know-how, John Schultz aboard with a bunt single.
That was great. Of course, for him, he's probably thinking, I just sprinted down this first base line for nothing, as the Grizzlies were willing to wait that one out to see if it would go foul.
Well, how about the chatter that's going back between him and his dugout behind the first base line? Now it's Josh Henderson, runners at first and second, nobody out. First pitch to Henderson, swing and a miss, 0-1. John Schultz, a perfect bunt down the third base line. It can't get any better than that. Connor Owings gambled, thought it was going to roll foul. It did not. The 0-1. Underneath it, off to the left, out of play. When these Otters take batting practice at home, they use a pitching machine to practice their bunting. They play a little bunting game where they set up 2 lines of baseballs and try to push that bunt perfectly between them past third. And asking a group of the hitters, who's the best at it? Who do they all name universally? John Schultz.
The guy who's been at it the longest.
Right.
And for him, that's going to serve well. I mean, he has that kind of touch with the shuffleboard stick later on in life. He might do all right. Just have that nice little touch, fall right into the top, for the, I guess, 10 points at the top of the triangle?
Right. Line drive out toward left field. Nick Rotola over to his right. He makes the catch. He'll throw over to second, but Michael Gangwish back safely. 1 down after the line drive. Hard hit out by Josh Henderson.
That's one there where he gives a little smooch, like that touch,
Yeah, a little swift.
Voila.
He takes the cruises. If he wants to go and do that, he'll be very popular here in the shuffleboard. In the retirement community many, many years from now. First pitch to Miles Gordon. Schultz likes to joke he's the grandpa on the team. He's not that much of a grandpa, but I don't know. He starts pulling out the shuffleboard
based
stick.
on the story that he told us the other day, and I don't know if you've already shared this on the air, where he made a Mighty Ducks reference in the clubhouse, and a lot of the guys just looked at him with a blank stare like they had no idea what that was.
Oh, boy. Well, Miles Gordon bats, and he grounds into a 4-6-3 DP. Jay Prather to Justin Jones to chase Valo to end the inning. But a 2-run home run to right field down the line for Dakota Phillips gives the Otters a 2-0 lead heading into the bottom of the second. You're listening to the Otters Digital Network on YouTube Live.
If you're looking for a liquor store in Evansville, look no further than Liquor Locker. The Liquor Locker has the best selection at the best prices, including the largest craft beer and bourbon selection in the area. Our friendly and knowledgeable staff will help you find the beer, wine, and liquor you need for any occasion. And check out the fine selection of cigars at all Liquor Locker stores. Liquor Locker is now open Sundays 12 to 8 p.m. and offers citywide delivery. Visit one of our 10 conveniently located stores in the Evansville area today. There is always something for everyone at the Liquor Locker.
Cheer up, Evan. This rain will be out soon. You should download the 14 First Alert app and see for yourself. You can see what's coming up to 7 days in advance, or you can break it down hour by hour. Check out Live Radar so you can see what's happening in real time. And you can watch 14 News live directly from the app. See, there's nothing to worry about.
Stay in the game with the 14 First Alert app.
First pitch from Tim Holdgrafer in the bottom of the second. Cut on and missed. He faces Andres Regno following a 1-2-3 bottom half of the first, and now with a 2-0 lead thanks to a home run by Dakota Phillips. Goes with a breaking ball to Regno, who swings through it 0-2. Now the count on Regno, who homered in the ballgame last night. And we are enjoying this power stroke that the Otters have found as of late, continuing to hammer the baseball. Early in the season, they were I guess you would call it singling teams to death. The wind and the 1-2. And that pitch misses up and in, 2-2. But over the past couple of weeks, it really dates back to a road trip they took to Joliet a little over a week or so ago. The 2-2 is grounded foul at the plate. The Otters have been clubbing home runs with ferocity. The 2-2 to Holdgrafer is lined foul of third. Nearly extra bases for Regno, former teammate of Christopher Pujols with the Kingsport Mets, the Mets organization. Wind in the 2-2, and he reaches out. Good two-strike approach to put it in play, but it's a harmless little grounder for J.R. Davis, who throws on to first. One down in the bottom of the second. A 4-3 ground ball gets Regno. It brings up Dustin Wilcock, a left-handed hitting center fielder. He stands in to face Tim Holdgrafer. The wind. First pitch. Fastball misses just off the outer edge. 1-0 on Woodcock, who enters with 3 home runs so far this season. 13 runs driven in. 223 batting average for Woodcock. 1-0 grounded foul toward first.
And we kind of have a little inside joke at Bossy Field with Woodcock, because it's always fascinating to us how it feels like he leads off a ton of innings, despite being obviously not the true leadoff guy. He's in the middle of the order, but it feels like he leads off most of the innings at the road trip, at least at Bossy Field. A couple years ago, is this a grounder to Davis?
2 down now in the bottom of the second.
In the 2019 season, we're pretty sure he led off in a single game 5 times from the middle of the order. Like, how does that happen? I mean, it was obviously a high-scoring game, but, like, you don't see that.
Just a baseball oddity.
Right. And then the first game that they played a couple weeks ago back this year, we counted 4 times. Then the next day they moved him to, like, the 7th spot, I believe, and he didn't lead off at all. But nonetheless,
still,
like you said, an oddity.
Now it's Nick Rotola to face Holdgrafer. A couple of ground outs to second to start the inning. The Otters wearing their road grays and Gateway Grizzlies 4th of July unis. The American flag on the jersey tops with good old Honest Abe printed on the front. Line drive out towards center field. That will fall in front of Miles Gordon for a 2-out base hit. First base runner for the Grizzlies. In the bottom of the second is Nick Rotola singles to center field.
And when you work enough baseball games, you look for anything to be something different, out of the ordinary, the smallest things, just to change it up from the day before. So that's something that we'll be sitting there in the press box and catches our eye like, wait a minute, he led off before. Just stuff like that. It's the littlest things that will just catch your attention at the most random times when you work in baseball in a 96-game season.
Now, how about, because we can pull up a statistic like this, who knows what it's worth, but kind of fun to point out anyway. Connor Owings, pitch misses inside. Do you think Woodcock would be pretty good leading off an inning, or how do you think if you had to totally guess with what you've seen, what do you think that average would be around as a leadoff batter? Just total guess. You have no way to know.
In terms of like his batting average,
Yeah,
what
yeah,
it would be?
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd probably be about like maybe 240.
The 1-0 misses outside.
Because I don't think he ever actually did any damage against the Otters. It just happened to be coincidence that.
Well, I don't think he likes it because he's hitting 100, 1 for 10. So limited sample size. But I'll point that out to say he definitely does it because how about for a 223 hitter in Woodcock? He's hitting 324 with runners on base.
Is that for this year?
Yeah.
Let me see if I can find the 2019 because, again, that season.
2-0 swing and a miss from Connor Owings.
Let's go back here. Dig through the archives.
So it seems that Woodcock very much prefers it when he gets the opportunity to bat with guys on, but against the Otters, as we've gotten to take a look at Bosse Field, he hasn't had that opportunity much. The runner goes on the 2-1, and not fielded cleanly on the reception of the throw. From Gangwish, it allows Nick Rottola to head to second base without a throw. It's a stolen bag for him.
Yeah, it doesn't like very much. In 2019, a 182 average.
How about that? Any idea what he hit overall? That's even probably, if we could call that up through the statistical data banks.
Here we go.
3-1 is lined out toward right. McNamee, right around where he was positioned. Took a step forward, took a step back, and how about Woodcock?
221 overall that year.
Doesn't like leading off. We head to the top of the third inning. Tim Holdgrafer able to work around a 2-out base hit to Nick Rottola. You're listening to the Otters Digital Network on YouTube Live. Otters lead it 2-0.
Getting ready and keeping fit for baseball season is hard work. That's why you'll find Evan at Bob's Gym. Getting fit, having fun, being an Otter. Be like Evan. Try a free 3-day pass at Bob's.
Two zip. Otters with the lead. Scored 2 in their last inning at the dish as Andrew Penner takes a strike from Sam Gardner, thanks to a 2-run home run from Dakota Phillips. Andrew Penner 0 for 1. And the 0-1 to him. Misses outside. Ryan Brown alongside Preston Leinenbach on a pretty evening just outside St. Louis. Fun town to come and visit, especially over 4th of July weekend.
Yeah, couldn't spend the holiday weekend any better.
The 1-1 misses out, 2-1. You got baseball in the Frontier League. You got a fireworks show here tonight. Baseball, hot dogs, apple pie, and I don't know if we have do we have a car sponsor? So I won't finish that little tagline. The 2-1 is cut on a miss, 2-2. Baseball, hot dogs, apple pie, and if you're looking to add a little sponsorship, then we'll throw your car dealership in there.
We used to have an automobile that Evan used to ride around on. I can't remember who that was sponsored by.
2-2 is lined to the right. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Now, I was told there was a hiatus on otter punts. This was before that kibosh was put on.
No, that's what it was actually called. I'm not making that up.
It was the well, no, I'm just saying the automobile is a great one.
It was like my first year there, and then I think it stopped after that. So
the wind and the 2-2, up and in.
That's because you would get out of it and throw T-shirts to the crowd, which you know people love free T-shirts.
Well, that's one of the most fun. You get to get up and stretch, and pick up a T-shirt tossed to you,
and go nuts.
Go nuts, y'all.
Just to get sometimes the wrong size, so you hand it off to the kid next to you.
3-2. It's a breaking ball that misses high.
Like, that's not going to fit me, but here you go, little one.
Penner will trot down to first after a leadoff walk. You know, that's kind of the baseball souvenir mentality. That it's the idea that you would push a kid over to try to catch a foul ball, but you'd give it right back to him, wouldn't you? You just want to make the catch is all.
You just want to be on SportsCenter.
Right. J.R. Davis bats now. I mean, I don't think there's any question that that's within fair play. You got some 13-year-old kid out there trying to make a catch. You got to stiff arm him a little bit.
The kid gets the ball. The adult gets the little clip that they can save to their phone and pull out at any kind of meeting or dinner and say, look, this is me
catching. Yeah. J.R. Davis, first pitch misses high. You know, we got those cameras now at Bossy Field that can track into the crowd a little bit, so you never know. You come out to the ballpark now, you might find yourself on SportsCenter. Hard hit ground ball to the shortstop, Justin Jones. On to Jay Prather at second, and his throw is wide of the bag at first. And they will try to race back. Will chase Vallo as J.R. Davis had to get back in to first, overrunning the bag a little bit, thinking about second. He was safe, but now the attention turns to make sure he's okay out there over at first.
And there's another example we were talking about earlier, again, kind of the weird hard bounces at Bossy Field with the natural surface, where here it's not really a hard bounce. It'll just skip and, like, get up on you quickly. And, like, you know, just kind of, like, take off. Nice little play at short, the throw a little off the mark, but.
A throw over, J.R. Davis. Hadn't even gotten his, don't know if that's the elbow guard or that's the oven mitt he's throwing on. He hadn't gotten it all the way on yet. He was back standing. It's Riley Crane now following the fielder's choice, 6'4", and he bunts it down the line at third with some nice spin. And wouldn't you believe it, Riley Crane takes a page out of the book of John Schultz, and he's aboard with a bunt single.
Love the small ball approach. I love it.
Look at this. This is the BP game playing off in strides.
Right. And if Zane was here, which I know he's planning on joining you here in a couple weeks on the return trip to Gateway, as he is on assignment elsewhere, as he would say, that's National League style baseball. That's senior circuit baseball, and he loves that.
There's no question. I mean, to emphasize how good that bunt was, yes, it's down the line at third. It's about medium depth. The pitcher, Sam Gardner, came on to give it a look, but talking about the fineness of how good it was, it had the right spin. First pitch to Elijah McNamee is a called strike outside part of the plate, where it started toward that line and then spun back toward fair territory down the base path.
Yeah, sometimes there's more than just the right to left break. You got the left to right closer to the hole. You got to read the whole way through. As I had to learn a tough way here in my round last week.
The 0-1. They're using that turf surface down the lines as down the line of third, kind of like their own putting green right now. Well, J.R. Davis off of second, Riley Crane off first. Any way you can get him. And I think it's fair for Crane, who lined out to right field his first time. It's only fair the baseball gods award him with a bunt single. It's the 1-1 misses low, blocked by Andres Regno.
Sometimes you just got to put it down about 45 feet or so. You don't have to hit it all the way over the wall.
You know what that is? That's one bloop base hit a week. That's one broken bat chopper. That's one bunt down the line. 2-1 ground ball. That will get through the hole on the left side of the infield. Past the diving shortstop, Justin Jones to his right. They will hold Davis at third. Bases loaded, one out. Elijah McNamee now 2 for 2.
I like the decision to hold up Davis. Obviously, the ball got into shallow left pretty quickly. Good charge in by Rotola. Despite Davis having the speed probably necessary to get toward home. But with this situation, bases loaded. You have the left-handed bat in Phillips, who we've already seen go yard one time over toward the short porch and right. why not try to see if he can let it rip one more time?
Oh.
And just put up a giant 4 spot here in this situation.
Dakota Phillips, he has hit a grand slam already this season. First pitch to him, misses low, 1-0.
Of course, the baseball mentality from those who play the game, the coach staff, is we're not trying to hit home runs. We're just trying to put the ball in play and at least find some green grass. But again, with the way the situation is here and the layout, I think you go for it.
Oh, yeah. 1-0 to Phillips. Fouled off to the left, out of play. Phillips, his last AB, a 2-run homer, gave the Otters the 2-0 lead they currently enjoy here in the top of the third. The 1-1 from Gardner. Bounces in front of the plate. Good block from Regno. 2-1 the count now on the Otters' first baseman in this one, Dakota Phillips. And a little inside move back toward the bag at second just to keep everybody honest before the 2-1 pitch. Gardner again making his pro debut, facing Dakota Phillips with the bases loaded. 1 out and a 2-1 count. And a big swing there, 2-2.
I think he's, again, maybe expecting a fastball there, 2-1 count, but Gardner took a little bit off of that one and going with it up in the zone, where it looks like it's coming out of the hand like a fastball up in the zone, a pitch to hit, takes a little bit off, looks inviting, and then it puts the brakes on about a few feet in front of home plate.
2-2. And it's hit out toward the gap in left center field. This will score a couple. Davis around from third. Riley Crane from second, and they are going to wave McNamee around third. The play at the plate is no good. Dakota Phillips, who now races toward third, he will be thrown out, but he also extends the Otters' lead to 5-0 thanks to a 3-run bases clearing double here in the top of the third.
And after seeing the, again, soft pitch up in the zone, realizes pretty risky chance that they would go back up in the zone. So he anticipates the pitch kind of down and away, changing the eye level, and goes with it, taking it opposite field. That's just good piece of hitting. And a little aggressive play there on the base pass to try to get that extra third base. But nonetheless, we've already driven in 3, and you push the lead up. You might as well be a little bit aggressive because you have the breathing room, the insurance runs, even though it's still early in the game.
First pitch misses to Michael Gangwish, the 1-0. Above the letters, 2 balls, no strikes on Gangwish, who reached on an error his last time. Phillips has now driven in 5 ribbies in this one. The 2-0, and that is hit well out toward right center. The center fielder, Dustin Wilcock, has a read approaching the track a few steps shy. He makes the catch for the final out of the inning. Dakota Phillips drives in 3 more. He's driven in all 5 of the Otters' runs. They lead 5-0 as we head to the bottom of the third. You're listening to the Otters Digital Network on YouTube Live.
You live by what's right. It's part of who you are and what drives you to always do more, to give more. At Old National, we get it. We're the bank built on integrity and community. The bank named a world's most ethical company for the last 10 years. The bank that focuses on your financial goals every day. Because your success is everything. And that's why we're here. You live by what's right. And at Old National, we bank by it. Find us at oldnational.com/locations. Member FDIC.
Cheer up, Evan. This rain will be out soon. You should download the 14 First Alert app and see for yourself. You can see what's coming up to 7 days in advance, or you can break it down hour by hour. Check out live radar so you can see what's happening in real time.
From Tim
And you can watch 14 News
Justin
live
Jones
directly
on
from the
hand.
app.
Yes, bottom of the third inning, Otters.
See,
Now with a
there's nothing to
5-0
worry
lead
about.
thanks to
Stay in the
Dakota
game with the
Phillips. And when I
14
say
First
thanks to
Alert
Dakota
app.
Phillips, I really mean it.
Yeah, he's basically done all the hard work, at least, of getting the guys in, but the guys in front of him have gotten on base. McNamee's been on base twice in front of him.
And the pitch here, the 0-1 misses in the turf outside, 1-1. Guys getting on base. And the formula so far, go ahead and have Phillips drive him in with a little bit of pop.
Yeah, we've seen a little bit of pop from Phillips. Guys getting on base. We've seen some nice little bunts from the Otters a couple times already. So a little bit of everything offensively here so far.
The 1-2, a swing and a miss. Strike three, the first for Holdgrafer tonight. Is the first out in the bottom of the third. Holdgrafer faces Dylan Jones now.
Nice little run support for Holdgrafer as well.
Go ahead and sit back in the rocking chair. Take it easy. Holdgrafer trying to take it easy. Might as well be standing on a corner in Winslow, Arizona. He's the San Diego, California native. Cal Poly Pomona product.
And as you told me ahead of the game, you've been on a corner in Winslow in Arizona.
Now, see, that's the special secret behind, the 0-1.
Now, was that part of the countrywide trip that you made last year?
Yes.
Because you said you went
I was on the same leg.
all the way from home to San Diego, is that correct?
Yeah. Pittsburgh to San Diego and back. 1-1 is ripped to right, and it gets foul into the stands. Picked up a band of degenerates on the way. Made it out. And the real first stop after Nashville was here in St. Louis on the banks of the Mississippi River, where the Otters have swam their way. The 1-2 foul at the plate from Evansville down the Ohio. They took a stop at Cairo, Illinois, and then paddled their way back upstream.
Man, that's a pretty powerful river. Otters going upstream like that.
I know. You'd think they'd be tired, but it must have just helped condition them to hit all these long balls. 1-2 misses just up and away. Gangwish wanted it for his battery mate Holdgrafer. They don't get the call. 2-2 on Dylan Jones. Can you imagine if the Otters found a way to do a little pontoon boat travel? The 2-2 is a called third strike on Dylan Jones. Back-to-back Ks in the bottom of the third for Holdgrafer.
And that's something where you're pumping a fastball basically right down the heart of the plate, and they're not even taking a chance to swing at it, just sitting there looking. But Holdgrafer's delivery, it's kind of deceiving. You kind of see him hide the ball pretty well, and he doesn't really overextend. He kind of short arms it a little bit. Like you'll kind of see him keep the arm at almost like a 90-degree angle as he comes into his delivery.
The wind and the first pitch to Ty Moore. Floats it in there for a strike, 0-1. Ty Moore, his last time, he grounded out to the second baseman, J.R. Davis. To begin the ball game, at least the offensive side for the Grizzlies. The 0-1 misses out, 1-1. Ty Moore. Did you ever watch the Mary Tyler Moore show there, Preston?
I did and have not. I know my parents did. That was more in their time.
Yeah, no fault for not having seen it. The 1-1 misses out. How about the Dick Van Dyke show?
Seen that a few times, of course. It's a classic. There's a channel on Evansville's TV cable selection, I guess. The different companies in there that plays a bunch of old-time throwback shows. Both of those being featured on them.
2-1, swung on and missed by Ty Moore, not Mary Tyler Moore, but pretty close.
My go-to for throwing it back is always Andy Griffith, though.
Is that really?
For sure.
Down in Mayberry.
Some subtle comedy humor in that show.
With 2 out, the 2-2. Holdgraver trying to strike out the side. This is roped out toward right field and over the wall in right. A home run for Ty Moore makes it a 5-1 game in the bottom of the 3rd. Moore, it was a line shot out toward the corner, if you will, in right. McNamee gave chase but ran out of room. And Moore picks up home run number, drum roll please, 1. And his 3rd RBI. Limited action. This is just his 12th start with the Grizzlies. First pitch to Jay Prather, runs in and gets a piece of him.
I hit him right on the back of the number 2 of his jersey, right dead center.
Outfield.
Sends a little chill up the spine a little bit. I wouldn't be sure.
They got ice.
He's going to submerge in an ice bath maybe for that one, because that was right square in the back.
Now, do you know if Ty Moore did any comedic antics maybe around the bases? You didn't catch anything, did you?
I didn't catch anything. I think that one just literally got away.
Oh, no, I totally agree. I was just curious because of Mary Tyler Moore is the only reason.
Oh.
Chase Vallow, swing and a miss.
Maybe for the reason of hitting the next batter.
Well, I can cover it
Ryan's
that way.
digging deep here to find a reason, if that's the case.
I'm not saying, you never know what my true motivation was. My stated motivation was Mary Tyler Moore, but who knows? The out of the stretch, the 0-1, ground ball, foul of 3rd. Facing Chase Vallow, who flew out to left, back in the bottom of the 1st. It was McNamee out there in right, Gordon in center, Henderson in left. Around the horn for the Otters, Crane, Penner, Davis, Phillips at first, Gangwish catching. Tim Holdgraver, who's ahead of Vallow, 0-2. Out of the stretch, the pitch, breaking ball, swing and a miss.
That was a good one.
We head to the top of the 4th inning. 1 run for the Grizzlies, thanks to the solo shot from Ty Moore, their left-handed hitting designated hitter. Top 4, Otters lead 5-1. You're listening to the Otters Digital Network on YouTube Live, and when we return, a little play-by-play by Mr. Preston Leidenbach himself. So stay tuned, and we'll be back with more on the Otters Digital Network.
Cheer up, Evan. This rain will be out soon. You should download the 14 First Alert app and see for yourself. You can see what's coming up to 7 days in advance, or you can break it down hour by hour. Check out live radar so you can see what's happening in real time. And you can watch 14 News live directly from the app. See, there's nothing to worry about.
Stay in the game with the 14 First Alert app.
Before you danced the first dance. Before you walked down the aisle. Before the tables were set with care. Before you penned a single invitation. Before the day that went beyond your wildest expectations. There was the little green box from Brinker's Jewelers for befores and happily ever afters.
Looking to buy a new home? We've got a sweet deal for you. Get a Home Sweet Home mortgage loan from Heritage Federal Credit Union and get a great low rate, plus get $500 cash back. That's right. Get a great low rate on your mortgage loan and get $500 cash back. Apply at Heritage Federal Credit Union, where the mortgage loans are sweet and the service can't be beat. Get your $500 cash back today at your local HFCU branch or apply online at hfcu.info/mortgages.
Back on the Otters Digital Network, John Schultz at the plate to lead off the top of the 4th inning for the Evansville Otters, leading 5-1 here on the road against the Gateway Grizzlies. It's a 1-1 count here to Schultz. The next pitch from Gardner Tries to drop in for the top of the zone for a strike. Misses high. It's now 2 balls, 1 strike. Last time up for Schultz, well, he laid down a beautiful bunt down the third base line. For good measure, gave it a full sprint to first base, but he didn't really need it. Swings at the second pitch, or the fourth pitch, second strike. And he grounds out to second for the first out of the inning, 4-3. Thought maybe he could try to go for a leadoff bunt maybe that time.
Yeah. You know what they were looking for. They had to be.
Yeah, they had to be expected. They were playing in, they were prepared that time. So here's Josh Henderson, the left fielder for Evansville here this evening. Digs in from the left side as well. Really left-handed heavy lineup for the Otters. Sits out towards center, backing up. Woodcock, he'll settle underneath it and pull it in for out number 2. A quick inning so far for Gardner on the mound. Quickly 2 up, 2 down for the Otters offensively. Back to the top of the order with Miles Gordon.
You know, I've really been impressed by the couple of bats we've seen from Josh Henderson tonight. Unfortunately, nothing to show for it in the scorecard, but a line drive out to left, and then that fly ball hit pretty well to center.
Gordon showing bunt, pulls back, takes the ball on the outside, 1-0. You mentioned Henderson. It seems like he's getting close to maybe breaking through that next threshold he needs to have that kind of push he's been searching for this season. Limited opportunities, of course, as the depth for the outfield is very strong for this Otters team. However, again, when he does get those opportunities, it seems like he's getting closer each time in the last couple weeks. Another pitch that misses out of the zone. 2-0 here to Gordon. Garner winds and deals. That's going to be fouled back over the lights that have just been recently turned on. 2 balls, 1 strike the count.
And here's another Otters left-handed hitting outfielder who has also cranked up the play at the plate recently.
He has, as you mentioned, 2 home runs in the last couple of games. Maybe he could make it 3 in a row here tonight. Takes ball 3, 3-1 in favor of Gordon. Of course, on deck, the second place hitter, Pinner. The pitch. Big hack. Comes up empty. Count runs full, 3-2.
He was thinking what you was thinking.
Thing is, if he would have made contact, I don't think it would have been quite the solid contact he would have been wanting for. That was a little bit of a reach, but nonetheless, he might still at least get it on grass. Swing and a miss for strike 3. Quickly, the Otters go down the top of the 4th. 5-1 lead for Evansville going to the bottom half here on the Otters Digital Network.
Getting ready and keeping fit for baseball season is hard work. That's why you'll find Evan at Bob's Gym. Getting fit, having fun, being an Otter. Be like Evan. Try a free 3-day pass at Bob's.
You live by what's right. It's part of who you are and what drives you to always do more, to give more. At Old National, we get it. We're the bank built on integrity and community. The bank named a world's most ethical company for the last 10 years. The bank that focuses on your financial goals every day. Because your success is everything. And that's why we're here. You live by what's right. And at Old National, we bank by it. Find us at oldnational.com/locations. Member FDIC.
Bottom of the 4th. Here we go. 5-1 lead. Evansville over Gateway. Holgrafer back on the mound, finishing his last warm-up toss. Ryan Brown, Preston Leidenbach here with you on the call on the Otters Digital Network. We thank you for joining us here this evening. 4th of July weekend, game number 2 of the weekend set between the Grizzlies and the Otters from Sauget, Illinois, just across the river from St. Louis, about 2.5 hours from home. Leading off the bottom of the 4th offensively for the Grizzlies, the Andres Regno, as he'll get set to take in as the on-field promotion finishes up down the third base side.
Are you ready for some really great color announcing here?
Let's bring it.
I mean, some really in-depth analysis.
Okay.
So that on-field promotion right there.
Gotcha. Yep.
I don't know if you noticed what they were playing with.
I mean, it looked like inflatable food, yeah.
And that inflatable food looks like a cheeseburger patty with some bacon in between it, 2 Krispy Kreme donuts.
So it's the inflatable replica of the best burger in baseball here at Gateway's GCS Credit Union Ballpark. Count 0-2 to Regno from Holgrafer.
As Bill McCune would say, you can give me my $5 after the game for that.
That one looked like a slider down and away. Nice little block there by Gangwish behind the mound. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Of course, I'm not much of a burger person unless it's truly off a true grill, summertime grill, cookout. You know, it's got the char lines on it. This one is sent out toward left center, and Henderson will call off Gordon, going to his left, and he'll haul it into the glove for the first out. However, with the times that I have been here to Gateway, I've obviously had to take the chance and try a best burger in baseball. It's pretty solid. Who knows what it does for the internal health inside of my actual body. Nonetheless, at least on the taste buds, it was pretty solid.
So here's the only problem I have with the best burger in baseball, is that there is a former establishment that I know of, at least in Nashville, which was pretty famous for serving the donut burger, quote unquote. And I don't know who had it first.
As Dustin Wilcock, the batter, takes one low downstairs for ball 1. And then we'll throw this third option into you. So in Evansville, which unfortunately you won't be able to experience, you will have departed by that point in October, the Fall Festival downtown on Franklin Street. A donut bank burger. Now, where that debate goes, we'll just have to get all three side by side at some point to truly figure this out. As a grounder over toward Davis, he'll toss it over to his counterpart at first base, and Phillips for the second out.
Now a donut bank burger.
So, of course, Kemp's Donut Bank is Evansville owned, local.
Right.
They take the glazed donuts. I mean, they're basically the same concept, but they sell it down at the Fall Festival as part of the 110 to 20 booths they have down there.
Well, that's a winner. That's automatically a winner because, I mean, you get a Krispy Kreme donuts are not the same,
right.
but that's not, that's no donut bank donut.
No.
That's an automatic win.
We've had plenty of our fair shares. This one's fouled off by Rotola at the plate now. Next batter with 2 outs and a strike. 5-1 to score in favor of the Otters. We've had our fair share of donuts in the office this season, thanks to our different colleagues for bringing something in. It feels like every day. But especially now with this Donut Bank shutout promotion we have at home at Bossy Field. Of course, a couple times now we've had the shutout. The crowd gets into it, starts shouting Donut Bank. This one is going to find some space. It's in about medium depth left center field. It's a 2-out hit for Rotola. So not going down in the 1-2-3 fashion that the Otters did in the top half. The Grizzlies will extend the inning to the 4th batter of the inning. That's Connor Owings. And if I remember correctly, and you probably know this better than me off the top of your head, he either was on the IL or just came off the IL when they made the trip to Evansville a couple weeks ago.
That's a really good question. I'm going to take a look.
As there's a check over at the runner at first, back in safely.
I think in our transactions page, we get IL guys too. So I can tell you that in just a moment. Owings came off the IL on June 30th.
So just a few days ago, as that one gets away and goes all the way into the Gateway dugout on the third base side. That will be a dead ball. So Owings will stand pat at a 1-0 count. Rotola will be able to go to second base. So that, in that case, says, of course, Gateway was one of the 3 teams that visited Evansville as part of that 9-game homestand a couple weeks ago. So we did not see Connor Owings then at that time if he just came off the IL a few days ago. But a familiar face to Gateways, one of the returning players. Pitch inside from Holgrafer. Count now 2 balls, no strikes. Again, 2 down Bottom of the fourth, 5-1 lead for Evansville.
And Holdgrafer is not trying to be too careful here. You know, he's got a 4-run lead. He isn't too worried about that runner off second, but baseball's a hard game to play.
Right.
It's hard to get ahead of anybody in the order.
And the only thing really for him to be kind of careful on is just the fact that he's going through the order for the second time now. That's about the only thing he has being a concern. You know, maybe shuffle up the deal a little bit with the selection of pitches. As that ball, again, as I mentioned, went to the third base dugout, and that's one of the things I first noticed when I walked in here today, Gateway, for the first time in a couple of years, was that the flip-flop of the dugout selections for each team. That one's low, 3-0. In previous seasons, Evansville had been in the third base dugout when visiting here at Gateway. Gateway would be on the first base side. That is not the case. Evansville now calling their dugout home this weekend on the first base side, as well as down the right field first base side bullpen. As that will be a 4-pitch walk, as that one also misses the strike zone to Owings. So after getting the first 2 outs, the next 2 have reached for Gateway. And that will bring up Justin Jones.
Well, the almost bright side to this is you have the lefty Connor Owings hitting. You've got such a short porch in right. Now you've got a right-hander coming up in Justin Jones. You might not have wanted to go to that full arsenal of breaking pitches and change-ups that Holdgrafer could use with a lefty up, give him something cheap with 2 out that would bring you within 2. Now you can use just about everything in the book to Justin Jones, the righty.
And Holdgrafer bounces back, first pitch to Jones with an inside called strike.
And that's the Tim Holdgrafer that we're used to, so you almost wonder if they were working around Owings a little bit in that previous at-bat.
Would be an interesting call down that far in the lineup.
Yes,
Popped
it
up
would.
over the top. Overhead. Overhead foul ball brought to you by Heads Construction. Choose the best. Never regret it.
Well, it's the idea of the oh, very good read.
Yeah, and see, I've heard it so many times, just like Zane, who has actually spoken those words so many times.
Yes.
It's memorized. It's ingrained in my memory. It's an 0-2 count now to Jones. Runners at first and second. Look back to second from Holdgrafer a couple times. Does a little double take. Now he'll throw it home. Inside, just near the belt. Count 1 ball, 2 strikes now.
I think he tried to go to that breaking ball, kind of front door it, if you could think of the opposite of a backdoor breaking ball, and just not able to get all of the bite that Holdgrafer is usually able to out of that pitch.
And now that he went so far inside, does he maybe kind of, maybe does that back off the batter a little bit to try to go with that slider down and away? The pitch, I think it was a little miscommunication as Gainwish set up inside, gets the ground ball anyway to end the inning. So the 2-out rally comes for naught here for the Gateway Grizzlies in this bottom of the fourth. We head to the fifth, 5-1 lead for Evansville on the Otters Digital Network.
If you're looking for a liquor store in Evansville, look no further than Liquor Locker. The Liquor Locker has the best selection at the best prices, including the largest craft beer and bourbon selection in the area. Our friendly and knowledgeable staff will help you find the beer, wine, and liquor you need for any occasion. And check out the fine selection of cigars at all Liquor Locker stores. Liquor Locker is now open Sundays 12 to 8 p.m. and offers citywide delivery. Visit one of our 10 conveniently located stores in the Evansville area today. There is always something for everyone at the Liquor Locker.
Cheer up, Evan. This rain will be out soon. You should download the 14 First Alert app and see for yourself. You can see what's coming up to 7 days in advance, or you can break it down hour by hour. Check out live radar so you can see what's happening in real time. And you can watch 14 News live directly from the app. See, there's nothing to worry about.
Stay in the game with the 14 First Alert app.
Looking to buy a new home? We've got a sweet deal for you. Get a home sweet home mortgage loan from Heritage Federal Credit Union and get a great low rate, plus get $500 cash back. That's right. Get a great low rate on your mortgage loan and get $500 cash back. Apply at Heritage Federal Credit Union, where the mortgage loans are sweet and the service can't be beat. Get your $500 cash back today at your local HFCU branch, or apply online at hfcu.info/mortgages.
Through the first 4 innings of play on the Otters Digital Network, Ryan Brown, Preston Leinenbach here with you on the road from Gateway. The Grizzlies, though, looking at a deficit because the Otters got off to a quick start with 2 runs in the second, 3 in the third. They now lead 5-1 over the Grizzlies. Again, we thank you for tuning in on the Otters Digital Network, on the Evansville Otters YouTube channel. Over here on the road, Andrew Pinner lines one foul first base side, and out of play by a large margin as he leads off the top of the 5th for Evansville. To 0-1 count, the pitch from Gardner drops in for a strike, nothing in 2, as again, Sam Gardner making his debut for the Grizzlies, the Murray State product, which for a lot of Evansville local fans, not just with the Otters. Chopper back to Gardner. He has to kind of wait for it a little bit with a little bit of awkward spin, but it gets over to first for the first out. You see the UE baseball team play Murray State more often than not most seasons. Usually it's the home road setup where during their midweek travel, but of course this year with the pandemic, a little different situation. They did not see each other in the same way. However, again, 2 familiar schools facing off. Here's J.R. Davis, the third place hitter and second baseman for Evansville. First pitch you see, he'll also line one out of play first base side. And looking at Garner and his family background, he has a relative and an immediate parent who played at Belmont. Well, Belmont's a rival school with Murray State, so that's kind of an interesting selection there. That one hits the turf for a ball, 1 strike, 1 out.
Now, Murray State, that's in Tennessee?
Murray, Kentucky.
Murray, Kentucky.
Which is
okay.
right near, a few minutes away from the Tennessee-Kentucky border. And the ground ball too short. And Jones over across the diamond for out number 2. The Murray State Racers. Used to be called the Murray State Thoroughbreds. In fact, the baseball program there was the last team within that department to change from Thoroughbreds to Racers.
Really?
That is indeed the
why
truth.
Why would they give up Thoroughbreds?
Because there is another school in the state of Kentucky, because Kentucky's obviously known for thoroughbred racing.
Right.
As Riley Crane steps up and looks at ball 1 downstairs, the Kentucky State University Thoroughbreds. So you had 2 schools basically with the same name.
Oh, I wouldn't give up. That's such a cool name.
Well, the Frontier League has 2 minors teams, so.
I know. What do you think is going to happen there?
I don't think either side's going to budge on that fight, as it's 2-0 here to Crane. Gardner from the first base side of the rubber. High fly ball. This one well above the lights. You know, it's sunset here at Gateway. Brought down in right field by Jones. Dylan Jones, that is, for the final out. Halfway home, we go to the bottom of the 5th. 5-1 lead for Evansville here on the Otters Digital Network.
CenterPoint Energy's newest generation of safe, efficient energy includes capturing and harnessing the natural power of pure sunshine. We are increasing solar in our balanced and reliable energy mix as we power our region with more clean, renewable energy. We're bringing a little piece of the sun to every home and business while reducing carbon emissions and helping create a cleaner environment. It's just a little something for your smart energy future.
We love our children and want them to be healthy. After all, a healthy child can make for a happy child. When you choose Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield, you have great doctors and great care to help your child stay healthy. And that is something to smile about. Choose Anthem to help keep your children healthy and happy. Enroll today. Call 1-800-403-0864. To learn more, visit www.anthem.com/inmedicaid.
Back on the air. Otters Digital Network, 5-1 lead for the Otters on the road from Gateway, taking on the Grizzlies. Frontier League baseball action, the second game of the weekend set. Evansville took game 1 last night, 10-3. So if they win tonight, they'll take the series, look for the sweep tomorrow. Still some work to do with a few innings yet to go. Right fielder Dylan Jones leads off for Gateway in the home half of the 5th. Holdgrafer back on the mound, the right-hander for Evansville. Where's number 50? Fires home, misses low and away. 1 ball, 1 strike. 5 runs on 7 hits, no errors for Evansville so far. 1 run, 3 hits, 1 error for the Grizzlies. That one was a good-looking strike underneath the hands. 1-2 the count now.
If you can hit corners, especially getting in on lefties, woo.
That one might have snapped the bat a little bit, hit foul first base side, in on the handle.
Yeah, Preston, I think you're exactly right. He's going to hand that bat off to Ty Moore and look for a new one.
So he'll get a new piece of lumber. And make his way back to the left-handed batter's box. Despite the 2-strike count, the infield as well as the outfield shading to pull toward the right field side a little bit. Down away in the turf. 2 balls, 2 strikes now.
Interestingly, that's about as an aggressive a shift, I think, that we have seen from the Otters yet this season.
I would agree, because normally we don't see the dramatic shift with Evansville, as there's a swing and a miss for another strikeout for Holdgrafer, because as we know, Andy McCauley, kind of old school traditionalist, doesn't like the kind of the new defensive mindset that's surrounding the game of baseball with the left-handed batters, especially with the dramatic shift, pulling basically 3 infielders over to the right side. Keeps it pretty much the same, the normal way of doing things. As Ty Moore will step up for the Grizzlies. He hit a solo home run just over the right field wall earlier in the game. And for Holdgrafer now, he's up to 4 strikeouts in this one. Called strike 2 Moore. And again, another left-handed bat. So both teams going with a lot of lefties here. Down and away. An easy take for Moore now. The count evens up 1-1. Nice solid crowd here at Gateway tonight. Of course, they have post-game fireworks. As why wouldn't you on 4th of July weekend? That one below the knees, 2-1. There's supposed to be post-game fireworks on Thursday night back home. However, with the weather being kind of suspect throughout the day, and of course a heavy downpour earlier in the day on Thursday, that's been pushed back to next Thursday on July 8th. 6:35 start time. Tickets at EvansvilleOtters.com. There's a swing and a miss for Moore. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Yeah, you don't want to have fireworks on a rainy night. That just makes sense.
Yeah, especially after that point, coming off of the postponement, a doubleheader, that could have been a long night for a lot of fans to stick around and wait for the fireworks.
Right.
Outside, now the count full. So, in which case, it'll follow the series finale on Thursday when the Joliet Slammers come to town. Once again, tickets available online, EvansvilleOtters.com, or during business hours during the week. You can call 812-435-8686. And talk to our good friend Trevor Bell, who runs the box office at Bossy Field. That one misses low. It's a walk with 1 out to Moore.
Holdgrafer getting into this lineup now for the 3rd time through. Not necessarily what you want to do. Again, 4-run lead. Of course, he knows this. So much easier said than done. He's not trying to be too fine to guys. He wants to throw strikes, but baseball's hard.
It's hard to kind of do the same thing every day. That's why you got to do it every day. You take a day off, sometimes it doesn't quite go the same way. That's why even the in-between game workouts are important. First pitch hit toward right field, a grounder off the bat of Jay Prather. And now first and second for the Grizzlies.
There's the lefty advantage. First pitch swinging, big hole in the right side. You could talk about it with the short porch and right, but at the same time, all Prather knows he has to do is just take a ball with a little bit of hard hit action. If he sees something over the plate, go ahead and get the bat, head around, pull it to the right side, put it on the ground, and there's a good chance you're going to have a base hit.
And here's Valo coming to the plate. And to your point, with Holgrave for third time around, now, back-to-back innings, kind of working with some runners on base. Big swing and a miss there from Valo. The bullpen's fresh, especially in terms of those top key guys who are normally the first ones out of the pen. Last night, the high-scoring game, of course, Bowles made his first appearance and debut for the Otters, the USI product. So you have the likes of, Taylor Wright, Abernathy. You got those top key guys you can go to if needed to maybe bridge the gap a little bit toward the end of the game. Long look back to second from Holgrafer. Fires it home, gets the strike call in the outer half. It's 0-2.
That is such good pitch selection. Beginning with the big breaking ball for the first pitch. Valo swings through it. Back with the fastball. Valo, I don't know how I would stand in there. I'd have no idea what's coming next.
And what's so interesting is when you see kind of that reverse pitching strategy come to play and actually be successful. Just foul over the head of Crane at third on that last hit from Valo. He'll have to come back and pick up the bat.
Now, I wasn't able to track the pitch all that well. I have to imagine it was an off-speed by how Valo was able to pull that on a line. I think Holdgrafer, if you asked him, probably wanted that pitch to be farther outside the strike zone than it was.
Definitely, for sure, and definitely probably with a little bit more sinking action as well. Nothing in 2-2 Valo with 1 out and 2 on. Bottom of the fifth inning, 5-1 lead for the Otters. Swing and a miss. That would have been a tough one to handle either way. That was deep inside. It's a strikeout for Holgrafer, out number 2.
Now, by the eye test, Preston, I don't know what you would have called it, but to me, it looked like a two-seam fastball.
Yeah, it looked like it ran back in on the hands a little bit.
And with some nice break busting back in. Good run, I think you'd call that.
That's like if you could throw with velocity and kind of have it movement either way, whether it be, a cut fastball where it's maybe going away from the right-hander or two-seamer in, makes you pretty dangerous either way. Regno, the batter, takes strike 1, called by Chris Dykman behind the plate. We've seen him a few times at Bosse Field as well as here, Southern Illinois. This is kind of his region to work in the Frontier League.
Daylight play, and they got the guy picked off.
They did. He was frozen and more, the leadoff runner. And the tag is applied by Crane as it went back to Davis, over to Crane to end the inning for the third out. So that kills the Gateway Grizzlies' momentum in the fifth. We're through 5 on the Otters Digital Network, 5-1 lead for the Otters. After saying a little bit of a prayer behind the mound, a new pitcher for Gateway. It's Colton Easterwood, a right-hander, number 26 on the roster for the Gateway Grizzlies. First batter he'll face is McNamee for the Otters. Fouls it back to the netting. It's a 5-1 lead for the Otters. Top of the 6th, Otters Digital Network action with you. Ryan Brown, Preston Leinenbach. Pleasure to be joining you as making you, hopefully enjoying you holiday weekend by tuning into us. Hopefully Otters baseball is making it a little bit more relaxing for you. As that one went behind McNamee. It's 1-1. Easterwood, formerly a starter earlier in the season, now coming in relief. He had made 4 starts on the year, a 5.68 ERA, 0-3 record, 19 innings pitched. His strikeout to walk ratio, 18-16. May explains a little bit why he has moved from the rotation to the bullpen. As this one also hit back to the netting, foul, 1 ball, 2 strikes. So that ends the day for the starter Gardner. Brian, you can read off his line for us. 5 innings,
7 hits, 5 runs all earned, 1 walk, 2 Ks.
So maybe not the debut he exactly wanted to have, but got his toes wet, we'll say the least, in French League baseball. That's a sinking liner to right field. Nice play by Dylan Jones in right to get to that one. And that's the first out with McNamee retired.
I will say that I am very impressed with Dylan Jones, who did not give in to the tendency and temptation to turn that into an unnecessary dive. I think we've seen that once or twice in this league and all over baseball. That's a true outfielder right there, at least on that play.
And here comes the RBI man, at least for in this game for sure, Dakota Phillips. As we mentioned earlier, he's kind of done all the heavy work by driving the guys in with a bases clearing extra base hit to left center, as well as a home run over the wall as well, a 2-run shot in his first plate appearance. The 1-0 pitch, swung on a miss, 1 ball, 1 strike.
5. How many RBIs do you need to have to get Dakota on Mount Rushmore?
And it's like foul tip maybe? 1 and 2.
I've got to guess that's what Chris Dykman said. He probably called it a foul ball, and Phillips might have been arguing, hey man, that didn't touch my bat. Come on.
So Phillips will have to kind of just refocus himself, take a new approach now and say, okay, instead of being up 2-1, I'm now down 1 and 2. We'll see what he does here on the pitch from Easterwood. Goes inside. An interesting delivery by Easterwood as he has that little kind of skip there right before his release. It reminds me a little bit of Jordan Walden, former Major League pitcher a few years ago.
That's who I was trying to think of.
Braves, Angels, Cardinals. Might be missing a couple other teams. He was kind of well ventured toward the end of his career. Might still be active, in fact, but that's a strikeout for Phillips, swing and a miss, 2 outs.
I was going to ask you, because I was just going to say, wasn't there one that was a Cardinal for a little while?
He was supposed to be the closer, had a lot of injuries, so he never really settled into that kind of role for the Redbirds, just across the river, by the way, at Busch Stadium. They're on the road there this weekend in Colorado, but their home field, not too far away. We drove by it today. Outside to Gangwish, 1-0. So again, the Murray State product made his debut tonight for Gateway, 5 innings, 7 hits, 5 runs, all earned, pair of strikeouts. I have been to Murray a few times. They have a nice little barbecue joint. I believe it's still open, called the Keg. High pop-up down to the left field line. Shallow range. The play will be made for out number 3. Going to the bottom of the 6th. 5-1 lead still for Evansville. You're listening to Otters Baseball on the Otters Digital Network.
You live by what's right. It's part of who you are and what drives you to always do more, to give more. At Old National, we get it. We're the bank built on integrity and community. The bank named a world's most ethical company for the last 10 years. The bank that focuses on your financial goals every day. Because your success is everything. And that's why we're here. You live by what's right. And at Old National, we bank by it. Find us at oldnational.com/locations. Member FDIC.
If you're looking for a liquor store in Evansville, look no further than Liquor Locker. The Liquor Locker has the best selection at the best prices, including the largest craft beer and bourbon selection in the area. Our friendly and knowledgeable staff will help you find the beer, wine, and liquor you need for any occasion. And check out the fine selection of cigars at all Liquor Locker stores. Liquor Locker is now open Sundays 12 to 8 p.m. and offers citywide delivery. Visit one of our 10 conveniently located stores in the Evansville area today. There is always something for everyone at the Liquor Locker.
Bottom of the 6th inning, Holgriefer still on the mound. Going back to work for the Otters, who carry a 5-1 lead to this bottom half of the 6th. You're listening to the Otters Digital Network. Ryan Brown, Preston Leinbach here with you. Leading off will be Regno once again. Again, he finished the inning at the plate, but with the pickoff play between second and third, he will start this home half of the 6th for the Grizzlies. First pitch, chopper. A little bit of a low play, but a tough play made by Crane. As that ball didn't bounce quite as high as I thought it would on this. After the bounce, he was able to glove it, make the running throw, and there's one down in the bottom of the 6th.
A lot of great baseball to talk about there on that play. For Crane, has to come in charging on a high hopper, slowly hit out toward him. He's coming in, and I think what I would credit him most with was being prepared knowing who the runner was. Andres Regno, cleanup man, big power, kind of a bigger guy.
Might have some time to throw it maybe.
Exactly. Yeah. And so he didn't try to force a bare hand there.
So with one down in Regno, Woodcock up next, looks at strike one. And for Woodcock to seeming 0 for 2. Batting from the middle of the order. As Holgriefer out of the windup, gets strike 2 called. Looks like he's back to spotting the zone a little bit. So he's up 0-2. Can he dot it once again for another strikeout? We'll see right here as he prepares to deliver it home. Try to get the chase, the check, and the appeal. Did not go. 1-2 the count.
Holgriefer, I know his last time out made it into the 7th inning, and it was around those late frames that he started to get touched up for just a couple of runs. He only gave up 3. All 3 came in that 7th inning. So these back frames, crucial for him and how he's going to feel at the end of this start.
And just a reminder to our fans, as that one misses inside, 2 balls, 2 strikes. The last time he saw these Gateway Grizzlies on June 17th, not only getting the win 6 innings, but hitting double figures in strikeouts with 10 in that contest. The 2-2. And that is foul, first base side. That one might have snapped the bat as well. A new piece of wood coming to Woodcock's way.
Tim Holgriefer, the sawmill out there on the mound.
Wonder what the brand is.
Yeah.
And where did he get? Did he get that Lowe's, Home Depot? Is he a Menards guy?
Yeah, where do you go?
Roll
for
King. Those are the local areas. You got Steel. Black and Decker. You got something you can work with.
I don't know if I've seen yet here in the Frontier League. Again, my short sample size. 2 bats get broken in the same game for the same team.
You mentioned earlier with the lead, he could maybe sit back on the rocking chair. Well, he's done a good job of at least trying to make that rocking chair with the broken wood here tonight. And this one's going long down the left field line. It's going to get down fair in the corner near the 318 sign. Henderson digs it out, gets it into the shortstop Henner, but it doesn't matter. It's a double standing up for Woodcock.
Woodcock, I think, is pretty happy with that new bat he got.
Hey, sometimes, if it snaps, it means it wasn't a good bat to begin with.
Right.
So a 1-out double for Gateway and Dustin Woodcock. That'll bring up Rotola, the left fielder.
I almost tend to think that especially in a yard like this, you've got a left-hander who is willing to take it the other way out toward the corner. It's a high fly ball. just poorly placed from Holdgrafer's perspective. Unfortunate. You got to tip your cap.
So now out of the stretch, Holdgrafer 2, Rodzilla strike 1. Now it's interesting here, and I'm sure you've probably may notice this too since you go on the road a little bit more than I do. The difference between the balls off the fencing at Bossy Field and off the actual wall in this case, or a padded wall in some places, and how the outfielders play those. Of course, that's what BP's for as well, not just for the offense and practicing swinging the bat, but also getting the field defensively around the field. Pinner on a ground ball makes the play over to first. It's a little bit of a high throw, but a nice stretch up top by Phillips. That's out number 2.
Rottola really busting down that line. He made it a close play, and though there are now 2 out, and there was 1 out with Woodcock at second, a nice job with the pitch selection there to get an off-speed pitch so that Rottola could only roll it over to the left side. You want to keep that runner over at second. Don't let a wild pitch score him, make it a save situation early here in the bottom of the 6th.
So that runner is still at second in Woodcock. Owens the batter now. You mentioned last time they might have pinched around him a little bit. First base is open if they were to pursue that avenue once again. Low and away, 1-0.
Well, he hasn't hit any home runs yet this season. I thought maybe it was quite possible the work around a little bit, because the time before it, it was Nick Rottola who reached on a base hit. But now a little bit later in this ball game, I think that 4-run lead feels a little bigger than it did back when he came up in the 4th.
Someone down and below the zone, 2-0 the count. Not much activity in the Otters bullpen down the right field line. Just maybe some light stretching by some. It's like someone on the back roller down there. This one's hit up the middle. It will drop in front of Gordon. He'll field it on the bounce. Get it into Pinner. No, it'll go past Pinner and cut off by Phillips. The run will score from second. Woodcock crosses the plate. That's the second run of the game for the Grizzlies. They still now trail by 3, 5-2. Get a run across in the bottom of the 6th inning here.
A nice piece of hitting. Taking it out just towards center field on the line. Not too much, again, you can do about that. Pitch just caught a little bit too much of the plate. You're getting later into your outing. You don't want to be too fine, and you're down on the count 2-0. Got to lay one in there. Owens was ready for it. They're able to pull within 3.
Justin Jones, the batter, with a runner at first. 1 across, 2 outs. And I just saw Max Pearson pop out of the dugout, signal down to his de facto bullpen coach, Tyler Vale, to get the lefty going. So now there's some movement in the Otters bullpen down the right field side. Strike 1 to Jones now. Even when Vale is active on his non-start days, you'll see him down in the bullpen as, again, the de facto bullpen coach. Now he's obviously doing it every day until he gets back into the fold actively for Evansville, hopefully soon. The veteran pitching leader for the Otters. That one's ripped foul down the third base line, 0-2.
Interesting to note, Justin Jones, his club down 3 runs, of course 2 outs. Runner's not in scoring position. He was swinging away the first 2 pitches he saw from Holdgrafer. The first one, an off-speed pitch he swung over the top of, that time lining another off-speed pitch foul. So curious to think about what the approach here is at the plate.
We'll see here, the 0-2. Swing and a miss. A strikeout for Holdgrafer. Bends a little bit with the 1 run in the inning, but does not break. Going to the 7th, the Otters lead 5-2. Ryan Brown will take play-by-play duties back over when we come back on the Otters Digital Network.
If you're looking for a liquor store in Evansville, look no further than Liquor Locker. The Liquor Locker has the best selection at the best prices, including the largest craft beer and bourbon selection in the area. Our friendly and knowledgeable staff will help you find the beer, wine, and liquor you need for any occasion. And check out the fine selection of cigars at all Liquor Locker stores. Liquor Locker is now open Sundays 12 to 8 p.m. and offers citywide delivery. Visit one of our 10 conveniently located stores in the Evansville area today. There's always something for everyone at the Liquor Locker.
Before you danced the first dance. Before you walked down the aisle. Before the tables were set with care. Before you penned a single invitation. Before the day that went beyond your wildest expectations. There was the little green box from Brinker's Jewelers for befores and happily ever afters.
Top of the 7th inning, 5-2 the score. Otters with the lead. John Schultz to be followed by Josh Henderson and Miles Gordon, 8, 9, and 1, going up against Colton Easterwood. Ryan Brown alongside Preston Leinenbach on a night that the Otters came out to an early lead thanks to the Dakota Phillips show. Looking to add a little insurance here in the back third of this ball game. First pitch missed outside of John Schultz, as did the second. We had a little bit of a delay here as there was a little on-field promotion down back behind first base in foul territory. Ran a little bit long, and the umpire, Chris Dykman, had to signal to, hey, wrap it up over there as the 2-0 was in there for a strike, 2-1.
Yeah, they were doing their version of the bumper balls, which we also have occasionally at Bossy Field, as long as they stay inflated at times. Sometimes the violent collisions, open up a gap in those bumper inflatable balls.
2-1 is fouled back to the left out of play.
Very entertaining nonetheless to see two people coming together, colliding, and basically, of course, Newton's law is coming into effect where they just repel off each other at that point. But
whammy right off each other. Colton Easterwood, he's into his second inning of work. The 2-2 to Schultz. That misses low. 3-2, went with the breaking ball in the 2-2 pitch. John Schultz, he knows a thing or two because he has seen a thing or two. He knows to lay off that pitch. Count runs full on him, facing Colton Easterwood out of the University of the Cumberlands. He got the start against the Otters back on June 17th. As the 3-2 misses low for ball 4. Schultz, great knowledge of the strike zone. It was just barely low below the knees, but he knew it, and he takes it for ball 4 with a leadoff walk in the top of the 7th. And that start back on June 17th, it wasn't too bad for Easterwood. He went 5 innings, gave up 4 runs, 3 earned on 4 hits, striking out 5, but he was a little too wild, walking 4 as he just walks John Schultz. Josh Henderson takes a strike on the inside part of the plate. 0-1 the count on him, the Suffolk, Virginia native. Currently resides in Glendale, Arizona. With his wife, Michelle, they were married just back in October of 2020. The 0-1 swung over top of 0-2. Henderson, he wears a chain around his neck, and on that chain, when he plays baseball, is his wedding ring that he wears. So during non-game time, it's around the ring finger, but during the game, well, he's a little worried as a lefty. Doesn't want to get it beaten up at all. As the 0-2 pitch misses inside 1-2, so he wears it around his neck. Of course, thinking about his motivation and the life back home, keeping things in perspective on the diamond. The 1-2, and it's lifted out toward left field. Nick Rotola underneath it. He makes the catch for the first out of the 7th. It'll bring up Miles Gordon, who's 1 for 3.
Now, Evansville's been shut out the last 3 innings, and I mentioned at the top of the broadcast, they got out to a big lead last night, then it kind of died down again. They're kind of floating that danger line here. It's only a 3-run lead. It would still technically be a safe situation if this was the last inning of play. So Evansville needs to still work a little bit to try to get some insurance runs.
In that game we were talking about last night, Preston, the first pitch in there for a strike on Gordon, 0-1. The Otters managed to score 2 runs between innings number 4 and 9. However, both of those runs scored on wild pitches, so their last RBI in that one came all the way back in the second inning. The 0-1 pitch to Miles Gordon is in there for a strike, 0-2. And how about all RBIs so far off the bat of Dakota Phillips, who's driven in all 5. Thanks to a 2-run homer and a 3-run double. Ground ball, slow roller to second, underhand toss to short, over to first. Not in time to get the swift of foot, Miles Gordon. It's a 4-6 ground ball, fielder's choice. Miles Gordon aboard, John Schultz erased.
And the swift feet at the top of the order for Miles Gordon, that's how you earn the title of being the Edward Jones leadoff hitter for the Evansville Otters.
An Otter. I meant to say an honor, but not an otter. An honor bestowed to few otters. Only the fastest. First pitch to Andrew Penner. That misses. Oh, gonna say it missed low? No, sir. It's a called strike in the lower part of the zone, 0-1. Penner is 0 for 2. Drew a walk back in the top of the third. Let off that inning. Now the 0-1 from Easterwood. Gordon going. Pitch misses up and in. And the throw down from Regno is not in time. Regno on the throw either lost his footing or put so much into the throwdown that he tumbled face first back behind the plate. Gordon safe with the stolen base.
And sometimes you got to put everything you got into it.
Yeah.
From a catching standpoint, in that situation there, throwing your all into it, losing your balance.
The 1-1 misses out.
We've seen Adrian Beltre from a batting standpoint put so much into it, he falls down to a knee.
And he's a Hall of Famer.
He's a Hall of Famer for it, yeah.
The 2-1. And yes, he does on the half swing from Andrew Penner. Andres Regno's behind the dish catching that one. Chris Dykman says yes, he did.
1 letter difference.
1 letter, all the difference. Runner in scoring position, the 2-2 to Penner. Ground ball to the right side. The first baseman, it eats up Valo, but he'll toss with the backhand onto the pitcher Easterwood covering to get the out at first and end the inning. We've played 6.5. It's stretch time on the east side of St. Louis. 5-2 the score. Otters with a 3-run lead. You're listening to the Otters Digital Network on YouTube Live.
You live by what's right. It's part of who you are and what drives you to always do more, to give more. At Old National, we get it. We're the bank built on integrity and community. The bank named a world's most ethical company for the last 10 years. The bank that focuses on your financial goals every day. Because your success is everything. And that's why we're here. You live by what's right. And at Old National, we bank by it. Find us at oldnational.com/locations. Member FDIC.
On the east side of St. Louis, it's Justin Lewis on the pitch in the bottom of the 7th. Otters with a 5-2 lead. First pitch to the left-handed hitting Dylan Jones. Misses, called a strike, 0-1. Jones, he's 0 for 2 with a couple of punch-outs. Bottom of the 7th inning, just after the 7th inning stretch. July 4th weekend baseball. 0-1 fouled back to the netting. 0-2. Ryan Brown with you alongside Preston Leinenbach as Justin Lewis comes on in relief of Tim Holdgrafer, who had a pretty fine outing for him. A quality start,
for sure.
no doubt.
No doubt about it. Like I said earlier, the bullpen, the key guys are fresh, good to go. For trading too deep into the waters, might as well make the change, bring out the lefty. Justin Lewis, of course, when he's at his maximum strength and at his best, he can touch 93 to 95.
The 0-2, swing and a miss from Dylan Jones. He now wears the hat trick. Ty Moore will come to the plate with 1 out in the bottom of the 7th.
Now, who knows at this point in the season if that's still in the back pocket or not, but we have seen that pop up from Lewis early on in the season back in spring training.
Well, the Otters are taking advantage of 3 consecutive lefties to bat in the inning, bringing on Justin Lewis in relief of Holdgrafer, who went 6 innings, scattered 6 hits, allowed 2 runs, both earned, while striking out 6, walking 2. First pitch, looks like he went with a little cutter there, perhaps. 0-1 on Ty Moore, who hit a home run back in the 3rd.
For Justin Lewis, he was one of Boots Day's California Winter League signings a couple winters ago.
As the 0-1 gets the best of Ty Moore, swings through it, 0-2.
The official Winter League of the Frontier League. So Boots Day, as he has in years past, go out to the Winter League, manage a team out there for the span of their season. Found one that he liked in Lewis. He said, when I talked to him at the time of the initial signing, he said he opened a lot of eyes. There was a lot of scouts there from the MLB level that he really impressed, as that one missed. That's why, even though he was supposed to be on the 2020 roster, he didn't even make it to that point before, of course, the season was canceled, because the Texas Rangers wanted him. So he went and had his chance with affiliated baseball. Of course, then there was the change, of course, across the landscape of minor league baseball, and he ends up back in Evansville.
Time is called at the plate as Ty Moore will readjust.
And I mentioned earlier, a good sizable crowd here tonight.
1-2 in the dirt.
As Lewis, again, almost breaks his ankle. He's having a tough time on that mound as he's taking a spin down a couple times, but 4,284 here at Gateway tonight.
Lewis looking for his 15th punch-out of the season. 2-2, up and in. Backs Moore off a little bit. Count runs full. Lewis, in 13 innings of work, he has walked 7, struck out 17. He'd be looking for punch-out number 19. This is 10th game, sports a 276 earned run average. 3-2, fouled off to the left. Lewis coming in with a 2-0 record. Lewis on the injured list, if memory serves correctly, back when Gateway came to town in Evansville. So they're getting their first look at the left-hander. 3-2, floats up and away. Ty Moore trots down to first with his second walk in consecutive plate appearances.
And with that California Winter League, every year, usually the Otters, as most of our loyal fans know, will make a couple signings out of the California Winter League, which doesn't count toward the, I guess, the main number of the spring training roster. Is again, it's a partner Winter League, the official Winter League of the Frontier League. So,
first pitch to Jay Prather. Lewis picks up a strike in the outside part of the plate with a fastball, 0-1.
So alongside him, the other CWL signing from a year ago at that time was Neil Lang, which he, again, came with us here in spring training this year and really looked pretty good. I think, he'll find other opportunities elsewhere. He didn't have quite enough room for him on our roster here in Evansville this year with the depth that we have found out that we have. But he was good. He's definitely good enough to play pro ball.
Fastball misses out 1-1 on Prather, the second baseman, who was 1 for 2. He was hit by a pitch back in the third. 1-1. And he is taking this one out toward medium depth left field. On the run, Josh Henderson comes in to make the grab for the second out.
Kind of nervous there when he started speeding up as he got closer to the ball.
Yeah.
Thought maybe he lost that one in the sky a little bit as that looks like a righty starting to toss in the bullpen for the Otters.
Needed that good closing speed. Don't know if that...
It's like Taylor Wright, perhaps?
I was going to say, I think it might match the build of Taylor Wright.
Well, not only that with him closing in, but he also had to go to his right a little bit there at the last second to make that play. Henderson and left.
Which, interestingly enough, is also toward the glove side. So a little bit more awkward play for the left-handed throwing outfielder, Josh Henderson. First pitch breaking ball in to chase Valo for a strike. 0-1. Valo 0 for 3 with a couple of punch-outs tonight. He entered play one of the leading strikeout candidates in the Frontier League. The 0-1. Lewis picks up another strike. Valo entered with 40 strikeouts in tonight's game, behind a first-place tie between his teammate Nick Rottola, who had 41, alongside Schaumburg boomer Matt McGarry. He's since surpassed them. The 0-2 misses just inside. 1-2 now. Rottola, however, is 2 for 3 tonight. Ground ball, no strikeouts for him. So, looking in the dubious strikeout totals, not sure what Matt McGarry was up to tonight. 1-2. A breaking ball taken back to the right, out of play. Light standards in full effect. Would you call this officially night, or are we still in the twilight zone a little bit?
No, I say this is officially nighttime.
This is officially night?
Yeah.
I could believe that. Now into officially the second hour of this ball game that began at 6:45. The 1-2 with 2 out. Once again, fouled back, except this time Lewis came with the fastball. Justin Lewis pitching on the outskirts of St. Louis. No relation, I'm told. The 1-2 misses in. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Valo.
Yeah, something just doesn't feel right for Lewis out here on the mound. Looks just uncomfortable with the landing spot and kind of just a little half stretch right there.
The Cornell product with the 2-2. And Valo fighting it off. He fouls it back into the stands behind first. Lewis peers down, gets his sign. Comes set the 2-2. Underneath it is Valo. Might call that a major league pop-up. I don't know if Gangwish has it. He doesn't.
He did.
Couldn't see it. And it falls on the warning track behind home. So Valo will have new life.
Yeah, that one went literally straight up. And by the time Gangwish could get the mask off, he couldn't track it.
Right up the elevator shaft.
I mean, he was shaking his head right from the beginning, like,
Right.
hey, I can't find it.
I don't know where it is.
Of course, the teammate's trying to tell him, it's up there, or something like that.
Yeah.
You're like, well, there's a whole bunch of sky here. I need a little bit more than that. Phillips was coming to help, but
2-2 sails to the backstop. It's a wild pitch for Lewis that will put Ty Moore in scoring position. Lewis relieving Holdgrafer after 6 strong innings, trying to keep the Grizzlies scoreless in this frame. He misses in with a 3-2 pitch. We'll put runners at first and second with 2 outs. Second walk in the inning for Lewis. It brings up Regno and Max Peterson. We shall see if he is buying time or making a move. He crosses the first base line. The infield comes in. And he will signal for the right-hander as Justin Lewis, his evening is done after picking up 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th. 5-2's the score. We'll be back after this to tell you about the new reliever on for the Otters here at GCS Ballpark on the outskirts of St. Louis. You're listening to the Otters Digital Network on YouTube Live. Bottom of the 7th inning, runners at first and second with 2 out. Andres Regno, the cleanup batter, steps to the plate as what could be the tying run. He faces Taylor Wright on out of the Otters bullpen in relief of Justin Lewis, who is responsible for the 2 men aboard. He was able to get 2 outs in the inning, but also walked a couple of batters. He was pulled after walking Chase Vallo. Previous batter, now it's Regno, who homered last night. First pitch to him. In there for a strike, 0-1.
Taylor Wright, you get the fastball, changeup, slider combo, and with that changeup, you get a little bit of that, just that's a little extra sinking action. It's a great changeup that he has. That's what made him Rookie of the Year and the closer for the Otters in 2019.
0-1. Misses up and in, 1-1. While still having a fine return season with the Otters. This is his 11th game. In just 10 2/3 innings, he has struck out 10 batters, allowed 4 hits, issued 4 walks, picked up a save. Has an 0-1 record and a .84 earned run average. The 1-1 is taken out toward right, going back McNamee, and he's going to run out of room. Andres Regno has tied the game in the bottom of the 7th with a 3-run, 2-out home run to right field. The Grizzlies have come back from a 5-run deficit to tie it at 5 in the bottom of the 7th.
went with the slider, and instead of finishing down and away, it finished just a little bit below the bell, but middle of the zone. And for Regno, just putting the barrel toward the opposite field. And, of course, as we mentioned, the right field short porch, but it had enough on it anyway. It carried. But he went with the pitch, basically, got his hands inside the baseball. And, of course, the size of Regno has the natural power to go with it.
2 of those runs charged to Lewis. The one, of course, the home run to Regno will come back on right.
That was just a missing location with the slider.
Now Holdgrafer no longer in line for the win. First pitch to Dustin Woodcock is called a strike right at the knees. A little bit of extra zip from right on that one. Right peers down, gets his sign, comes set around the letters, the 0-1. And it's lined out toward left. It gets out of play over toward the bluff behind the left field line, 0-2.
And then the dog pile for the foul ball by all the kids.
Oh, yes.
And see, now the rally's on, and you know it's the case when you hear Zombie Nation playing in the background.
Is that? Oh, yeah. Oh, is that what that is?
Yeah. Which normally I'm okay for, but representing the Otters here on this radio broadcast, I don't like to hear it.
0-2 above the letters. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Woodcock, who doubled his last time up, 1 for 3. In the doubleheader that the Grizzlies played back on Thursday night against the Southern Illinois Miners, Woodcock had 2 home runs, 1 in each game, both of the 2-run shot variety. 1-2, that's a called third strike. He pumps the fastball in there, and he gets out of the inning, but not before Andres Regno ties it up with a 3-run home run to right field. Now a 5-5 game as we head to the top of the 8th. Otters will have to rally right to win it. You're listening to the Otters Digital Network on YouTube Live.
CenterPoint Energy's newest generation of safe, efficient energy includes capturing and harnessing the natural power of pure sunshine. We are increasing solar in our balanced and reliable energy mix as we power our region with more clean, renewable energy. We're bringing a little piece of the sun to every home and business while reducing carbon emissions and helping create a cleaner environment. It's just a little something for your smart energy future.
We love our children and want them to be healthy. After all, a healthy child can make for a happy child. When you choose Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield, you have great doctors and great care to help your child stay healthy. And that is something to smile about. Choose Anthem to help keep your children healthy and happy. Enroll today. Call 1-800-403-0864. To learn more, visit www.anthem.com/inmedicaid.
Top of the 8th inning, now a tie ball game here at Gateway. 5-5 the score. Otters, J.R. Davis, Riley Crane, and Elijah McNamee will bat in the inning, facing a tough assignment indeed in Carter Hayes. First pitch misses upstairs, 1-0. Hayes enters this one in relief of Colton Easterwood into his 11th game this season through 16 1/3 innings of work. He's yet to allow an earned run. The 1-0 also likewise misses above the letters. 2 balls, no strikes on J.R. Davis. And that's in there for a strike. 2-1 the count now on Davis. 0 for 3 with a run scored. Reached on a fielder's choice back in the third. The 2-1 fouls it back to the netting. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Count was a little behind there on the scoreboard. I don't know what Brandon's doing, but
come on, Brandon.
Come on, Brandon. Shout out to Brandon Taylor, our scoreboard operator, Bossy Field.
2-2 up and in. A little bit of the high cheese to Davis. Goes down to a couple of knees on the cheese.
There.
Yeah.
Brandon's been with the Otters for 20-plus seasons now.
Brandon's a superstar.
We had him for his 20th season in 2019 throw out a ceremonial first pitch to commemorate.
3-2 staying alive. Fouls it.
The milestone year for him. Right. So he had been a part, and of course at that time, 20 of the 25 seasons, because the 25th anniversary was, of course, in 2019 as well for the Otters.
Institution.
He's the dean of the press box.
3-2. He lifts it out toward right field. Toward that corner is Hayes, and he will run out of room as it gets out of play. J.R. Davis, he will return toward home. Taking a little bit of time, gave it a long look. Preston, do you think that had enough to get out of here? I thought it might have been just a little short, though, foul.
It got up there to the patio area up top there.
Oh, did it?
When it went foul, yep.
Oh. So he'll just try to steer that a little more fair. Hayes is set. And he goes back to it.
He's trying.
That one would have been no question, but definitely foul.
Yeah, that one went over the Country Bob's Grill House over there.
Now the 3-2. And he's underneath it to the right side, too shallow. Charging in the right fielder, Jones. He had a long way to run. He makes the catch for the first out. It'll bring up Riley Crane, who's 1 for 3. Now, of course, Crane, the left-handed batter, who has 5 home runs this season. He is no doubt a home run threat. First pitch, misses outside. Now that was pretty nifty what you did there. Did you have a little frog in the throat?
Yep.
And then you just turned down the dial?
Yeah, I don't want people to have to hear me.
1-0, fouled off to the left, out of play.
Choke and cough.
Now that is revolutionary on one of our broadcasts.
Usually I have a talk back or an actual mute button.
No, but I might have to try that out next. The 1-1 is hit pretty well out toward left, but hanging up for Nick Rotola to make the catch.
Sometimes you just don't have enough time to get the headset off and out of the way. You just mute yourself.
Yeah, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you don't.
Save the worst sound effects of the game from the people.
Right. So with 2 out in the top of the 8th, Otters trying to get a little momentum back after surrendering 5 unearned runs from the 3rd onward. See what Elijah McNamee can do. He's 2 for 3. He's definitely got enough pop to go the opposite way. And the first pitch he sees, he fouls off to the right, out of play.
Went the opposite way, that's for sure.
Yeah. It's interesting. Hayes definitely looks like a hard-throwing righty. 2 righties with pretty good pop due up in the Otters order. And this is taken out toward right, but it should. Oh, diving play and catch made by Dylan Jones, ranging in to his left. Full extension. He picks up the baseball just inches from the turf. And he robs Elijah McNamee of extra bases and send matters to the bottom of the 8th. Tip of the cap for Dylan Jones. We head to the bottom of the 8th. Ball game tied at 5. You're listening to the Otters Digital Network on YouTube Live. Bottom of the 8th inning, Taylor Wright's got to try to keep it tied. 5-5 the score. He will contend with Nick Rottola, Connor Owings, and Justin Jones. 6, 7, and 8 for the Gateway Grizzlies, who tied it up in the bottom of the 7th thanks to a 3-run home run by Andres Regno, his second in as many days. First pitch lined out to center field. The Grizzlies will have a leadoff base runner thanks to a leadoff single from Nick Rottola, who is now 3 for 4 against the Otters tonight. Some hard contact off of Taylor Wright. Connor Jones now steps to the plate. His last time up, he singled home Dustin Wilcock from second. He's 1 for 2. Owings also lined out to right field his first time up, so he's been hitting the ball well. First pitch to right. That's in there for a strike, 0-1.
That changes the plan for the bullpen, too, because now, instead of having, Sawyer May ready for the 9th, he might be the guy in the 10th. But how long do you want to go with Wright?
Runner goes, first pitch, throw down, one hopper, and off the glove of the shortstop, Andrew Penner. It skips into center field. The throw from J.R. Davis gets away, but thank goodness Taylor Wright was doing his job backing up behind third. It should be a stolen base and an error on the catcher, Michael Gangwish, you'd imagine, right? Or do you score that on Penner?
I would say that's on Penner. He was in position, and it literally just went off of his glove.
We'll see how they score it.
Throwing error, okay. So it will be a throwing error on the catcher.
Stolen base and an E2 to third. Now with nobody out, the infield comes in. That's costly. They need the strikeout here of Owings. Ahead in the count, 0-2. Pitch on its way. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Big out number 1. Went with the high heat. Up and away. Owings can't catch up to it.
So there's one thing if Penner would have had to lunge and then get a glove on it, but he really was just there in position ready for it, just a little low.
Justin Jones stands in. He's 0 for 3, a couple of punch outs. Now, if you're thinking about walking him to try to set up the double play scenario, think again. Dylan Jones on deck is the swift-footed right fielder for the club. Now, we just saw his speed tracking down a ball in right field, so he's no guaranteed double play candidate, especially considering that he would be out of the left-handed batter's box. First pitch missed away to Justin Jones, and the 1-0 gets away from the catcher, Michael Gangwish. The throw to the plate is no good. The Grizzlies take the lead on a wild pitch. 6-5 the score in the bottom of the 8th. Nick Rottola from third comes in to score. And now the infield can move back, but not the way they wanted to.
Yeah, it's just tough going here in the last few innings for the Otters.
The 2-0 to the plate. That misses inside to Jones. 3 balls and no strikes. You definitely don't want to allow a walk to the 8th man in the order. 4 runs given up by the Otters bullpen. Had to lay one in there. Gets a strike. 3 balls and 1 strike on Justin Jones.
Of course, now with Gateway having to lead their closer, Bramblett, who's obviously really, really good compared to seeing his numbers last couple of years. Getting ready.
3-1. And he fouls it back to the netting. Count now full on Justin Jones.
There's no doubt about his ability. It's just a matter of fact that he's In 2019, did he get enough chances with the overall record of the Gateway Grizzlies that year? As the crowd tries to get the wave going.
Otters scored 5 runs in the first 3 innings. Have yet to break the scoreboard since as the 3-2 misses upstairs for a 1-out walk.
What's your opinion of the wave? You like it or not?
Of the wave?
Yeah, the crowd wave, yeah.
I
I hear mixed.
It's, you know.
From a lot, look at my 50-50 share, people who do, people who don't.
Let me put it this way. I bet if you don't like baseball, it's a lot of fun. Is that fair? What are your thoughts on the wave?
I'm not usually an active participant. I usually like to.
First pitch. That's cut on and missed. 0-1. Now, let me put it this way. I don't know if I have ever seen the wave enacted while the home team is batting before. Because I keep track of this sort of thing.
Of course you do.
I pay very close attention to the wave.
I've seen the spreadsheets.
I do. And I will tell you, it is almost always while the home team is in the field. Runner goes, throw down is a good one, and they are going to get Justin Jones over at second. The throw down from Michael Gangwish is good for the second out, and that's nice to clear the bases.
Even though at this point, a little late for, I guess, a moral victory situation, but a little bit of a redemption with a better throw that time.
Anything you can get. The 1-1. Up and in. Gangwish did all he could to try to buy the call, but it missed upstairs. 2 balls and 1 strike on Dylan Jones. 0 for 3 with 3 punch-outs is Jones. There was a pretty good note on the Jones boys. 2-1. You'll have to wait for it, though. On the infield, right, trying to get out of the way. Riley Crane over toward the mound will make the catch. Big news for the Grizzlies. They take a 6-5 lead in the bottom of the 8th as Nick Rotola scores from third on a wild pitch following a single, stolen base, and throwing error. The Otters will have to try to tie it in the top of the 9th off the Grizzlies closer, Bramlett. Or maybe someone else. We'll tell you who it is when we return in the top of the 9th. This is the suspense might kill you. 6-5 the score. Grizzlies with the lead. You're listening to the Otters Digital Network on YouTube Live. Top of the ninth inning, Otters need a rally. They're down 6-5. Dakota Phillips, Michael Ganguish, and John Schultz, 6 through 8, facing Jeff Bramblett. First pitch is a called strike outside part of the plate, 0-1.
And right away, Gateway Grizzlies going with a no doubles defense. I saw the sign come in from the dugout, go out to the 3 outfielders.
Not that the right fielder can play any farther back.
Ain't that the truth?
The 0-1. That misses off the plate. 1-1 on Phillips, who's driven in 5 today. 2-run homer back in the second and a bases clearing 3-run double in the third. Bramblett, little glove waggle, comes set, the 1-1. Underneath it, on the infield, Justin Jones. The infield turf, gloves it for the first out. Well, the Otters are trying to come back. They scored 5 runs between the second and third, and the only man able to drive any home tonight was Dakota Phillips. Since then, they have been blanked by the Grizzlies.
In that case, he couldn't drive anybody home because he was the leadoff guy. Maybe, honestly, at that point, he's just the tying run.
And the first pitch to Ganguish is fouled back and out of play. Credit to the Grizzlies pitching staff. They have not allowed a base hit since the third inning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Evansville's been stuck on 7 hits for a long time.
The only other man to reach base safely, John Schultz on deck. Be the base on balls. The 0-1 to Ganguish misses out, 1-1. Bramblett in his 5th game returning to the Grizzlies this season. 1-0, he's yet to give up an earned run. 1 save through 5 innings of work, 7 punch-outs, only 1 walk, only a couple of hits. And there's a ground ball through the right side of the infield into right. Michael Ganguish aboard with his first American professional base hit. 1 out in the top of the 9th, and the tying run's aboard.
Just a couple seasons ago in the, as you mentioned, Australian Professional League, so his first professional hit over here in the States.
And isn't this a fun matchup? John Schultz, the wily veteran, versus Jeff Bramblett, who back in 2019 pitched in 53 2/3 innings to an ERA tune of .50, 61 punch-outs to those 53 2/3. This is the kind of matchup you're looking for. First pitch to Schultz, misses low in the dirt, 1-0. The Otters, it would be a Herculean effort against Bramblett. The Alabama native, back from McCalla, Alabama.
The thing I just thought, I've been thinking about is that for Schultz coming back to the Otters, first time playing in the French League since 2017, is that he's seen a lot of pitchers this year he has not seen before.
Right.
Of course, for a lot of guys, as he takes a strike, is, I'm not really worried about the opposing guy. Kind of just, make sure I'm doing my job, my thing, worry about my game. But nonetheless, in baseball, it usually helps when you see a guy pitch a time or two.
Oh, no question.
But these are all fresh faces for Schultz that he's going up against, and doesn't really have the book to work with, although the coaching staff does have, obviously, their book from the 2019 season to help with the scouting report. But I'm sure as a batter, and with the likes of Schultz, the experience he has, probably likes to see it with his own batter's eye against a guy a time or two. But
Bramblett set, the 1-1. And that's in the turf, blocked. The throw down to second is good to get Michael Ganguish trying to advance into scoring position. Now there are 2 gone in the top of the 9th. Scored a caught-stealing 2-6. And now the Otters down to their final out. Second baseman Prather playing well back. The 2-1 misses away, 3 balls and 1 strike. The one man pulling for the Otters, I think, who is probably least fazed by that than anyone, I bet you it's John Schultz. He just knows I've got a different job to do at the plate. The 3-1 home, and that misses upstairs for ball 4. So the Otters will put that tying run back on base. They still only have 1 out remaining. They turn now to the number 9 batter, Josh Henderson. Henderson, he's seen a lot of time in the Frontier League, the Suffolk, Virginia native. He's played with the Wild Things, with the Yalls, with the Miners. Wouldn't this be a Cinderella story? First pitch, misses outside to Henderson, 1-0 from Bramblett.
I'd be curious to see if Schultz was to get the second, in scoring position. Will we see somebody put a helmet on and may take his place?
Big hole on the right side, the 1-0, and he fouls it back to the netting. 1-1, not that you're going to get anything easily to pull off the hard-throwing right-hander Bramblett.
Yeah. No, you're going to have to take what he gives you and go with it. He'll try to correct his pitch by basically trying to direct it the way you want it to go. You're going to have to go with it. And there's a big gap out there in right center, though.
1-1 breaking ball. Wouldn't you know it? Called a strike. 1-2 now on Henderson. I can't blame him for not expecting that one. Now the Otters down to their final strike tonight. Schultz, the tying run at first. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Josh Henderson. Pitch from Bramblett. And he lines it out toward left. Foul. He'll stay alive. They get to do it again. Henderson, he's been coming up clutch for the Otters in his last few games this season. In his last start in Game 2 of the doubleheader on Thursday night, he took an 0-2 pitch into center field, extending the Otters' lead to 4-2. 1-2 with 2 out. Once more, misses outside. Count draws even on the Otters' left fielder, Henderson. Otters trying to spoil the save opportunity for Bramblett. 2-2 home. And a ground ball foul of first. Henderson is battling.
Putting up a good fight. And usually in this scenario, the deeper you get into the pitch count and an individual at bat, usually the mistake is made by the pitcher before the batter. It feels like that anyway. I don't know if there's science back that up. It just feels like it.
Yeah.
I mean, it feels like as longer that bat goes.
A 2-2, and he fouls this off to the left.
This is just good fight right now at the plate by Henderson. And that's what I'm saying. I feel like he's kind of close to really coming through because he's put together at-bats in his last few starts and appearances in the games like this.
The 8th pitch of the at-bat is coming up. Again, the count's still just 2-2.
And you'll always take at-bats like this from the bottom of your lineup.
No doubt. 2-2 to the plate. And there's a called third strike on the breaking ball, and Andres Regno will raise both hands as it's a major victory for the Gateway Grizzlies at home on the 3rd of July. 6-5 the final. The Grizzlies come all the way back from a 5-run deficit to stun the Otters and even this series at 1 game apiece.
Credit to the Grizzlies. Keep on fighting. And for the Otters, it's one of those things where it's really going to hurt for a little bit, but they got to, get ready for tomorrow, still go out and try to take the series. But again, another example of Evansville, and I'm not saying it's, intentional or a pattern, but just the last couple games, getting off in the early start, and then the offense kind of dies down a little bit. It's just an interesting little tidbit that's developed here this week in the first 2 games. And I don't know if maybe the bullpen is better than the starting rotation for Gateway, what the deal is, but that's just something Evansville's got to maybe kind of lock in on and say, hey, we got to keep the foot on the gas a little bit more. We got to really kind of even lock in even more. We may feel like we're locked in when we score 2-3 runs in those first few innings, but we got to lock in even more in the crunch time of the game.
Carter, go ahead.
Just a tough loss here tonight.
Carter Hayes picks up the win while Taylor Wright will take the loss. The save goes to Jeff Bramblett, his second of the season. The Otters, they fall to 24-10, while the Grizzlies improve to 13-22. Well, tomorrow we'll be back at it with a 5:45 first pitch, 5:30 pregame show here on the Otters Digital Network on YouTube Live. It's a tough luck loss for the Otters, but they have a chance to win the series tomorrow in the rubber match on the 4th of July. Preston, any final thoughts before we conclude?
Yeah, I mean, just like I just said, tough loss, and for Evansville not being able to hold on and finish it out, especially after another solid start from Holgrafer, you would like to see the team hold on to the lead to get him another win, and especially considering, again, since he's become a starter, he's been really good for the team. But overall, though, hopefully the team can come out again, just refocus, get the win, get the series win on the 4th of July. And, partner, it was a pleasure to work with you tonight. A lot of fun.
Absolutely. For Preston Leinenbach, I'm Ryan Brown. Thank you so much for joining us here tonight in the booth. Hope you'll be right back tomorrow for 4th of July baseball, America's pastime on Independence Day, right here on the Otters Digital Network on YouTube Live. A 6-5 final, Grizzlies even the series with a win. Let's chat tomorrow.